out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuning in Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man, Kill. I got my squad with me. In effect, as always, my brother Spence from Philly. What's good, bro?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here.
Same stuff, different day, bro. I still gotta, and maybe if I ask, forgive me, where did you get this stand to the side from that you can keep all the magazines in?
Oh, I'm gonna ask my daughter. I'm gonna ask her.
Okay.
Because she got it for me.
Because that joint is crazy. That rat, I remember that rap page is right there with Nas when Illmatic first came out. Yeah, I remember that joint. Yeah. Like, this nigga Spence crib is like a fucking old school like drugstore. Like, this is where I used to go get my sources. This not a drugstore like a crack house, but I mean like because I used to love the magazine joints. You spin them around like, oh shit, what's that? So that's definitely ill.
Store used to have them joints
yeah,
too.
the corner store. My brother Vague out of Brooklyn. I think y'all know where he's from with everything right now.
New York, stand up.
Right. Good game. Next series.
What was it? A good game? I mean, y'all blew him out by like 60 points. That ain't a good game.
I was sitting there like, I was loving it. Like,
I'm like, you beat a nigga by 60 points. That ain't a good game. That's annihilation. That's some old shit. Why that?
Because as a Knicks fan, who's a recovering Knicks fan, they called them the cardiac Knicks for a reason. So to have a game where you're not damn near having a heart attack,
right?
It was fantastic.
I feel that, bro. I feel that. That's dope as hell. And yo, gotta shout out my man right now, 94 West, longtime Twitter person I chop it up with for years. Appreciate you sitting in with us, bro. What's good with you today, man?
I'm blessed, man. Got to be here kicking it with you, man. On the podcast, talking about some real music stuff, man. Woke up. I'm doing great, man. Hey, yo, the Nuggets win tonight. I'll be feeling even better.
There you go. Y'all should pull this out, too. You know what I mean? Damn, because y'all got to do it. With what's the boy name from Villanova, Vague, that y'all traded?
DiVincenzo. That's crazy.
Yeah. And the boy Edwards hurt. Y'all should definitely be able to get through this real quick. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, man. You know, I don't take no game for granted. You know, these are professionals on the other end, so we're gonna see how the dominoes fall. You feel me?
All right, no doubt. Well, y'all know me. Let's jump right into it. So I got to shout out the boy at Fast Break Hoops 5. Y'all know me. If I see a topic on the timeline and I do it on the pod, I got to shout people out. I don't want nobody talking about I'll be biting topics or whatever like that. He was talking about hoops and he was saying, who is an NBA player who just vanished, no retirement, not faded slowly off, just one day you realize, like, yo, damn, I forgot about boy. Like, you know what I mean? Who was it? Somebody posted somebody the other day. I don't know if y'all remember the boy Bob Sora. Used to be a white boy who played for Cleveland back in the day. And I saw the clips and I was like, oh, snap, I forgot all about this boy. So things like that, where it's like that. So, of course, had to bring it to hip-hop and R&B. So this week's show is going to be about who were groups or artists that you rocked with, you messed with, and then one day they just disappeared. They just disappeared off the face of the earth or whatever like that. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about if we kind of understand why they disappeared. Maybe something happened like a la KMD, you know, boy died, then Zev Love X kind of dipped for a minute, then he came back as MF Doom, so maybe been something like that. Maybe it was label issues, or maybe they was just whack and they just couldn't, you know, what Gangstar said, you couldn't handle the whole weight. LL said that, but Gangstar was scratching it. So that may be it. So that's what we're going to be chopping it up about today. The first group that I'm going to go with, and it's a group, I got their CD down here somewhere, but I love him to death, is I and I. You know what I mean? Grap Lover, who is part of Apartment 5B, a good brother who I really consider more than just a friend. That's my guy. And I got different copies of it because what happened, and we're gonna get into it, the I and I joint right there, called The Life I Lived. And the thing is, if people don't know, I and I, they dropped a single back in '96 called Fakin' Jacks, which was crazy. Pete, the way he chopped up and impeached the president, then he had an ill remix to it with the Havoc, Ain't No Time for Fakin' Jacks. My man, shout out Little Mike at 889. He used to always go to New York. He'd come back with mad tapes, a different I and I. I mean, we was playing Center of Attention, Grown Man Sport, all them joints years before they ever came out. And it just never dropped. Basically what it was is Soul Brother Records. Pete Rock had a deal with Elektra. The president dipped and it kind of faded off. So like the deal never happened. And I mean, I don't think these actually dropped until like maybe 2002 or 2003 that you could like kind of finally start getting a physical copy of it. And of course, it's still not the official joint. But to me, but then they kind of just disappeared because even though you got shelved and it never came out, they never did anything again. And Grap, you know, he would rhyme, you know, he would drop joints here and there, 12 inches and everything like that. But I remember when I first came to DC, I was like, damn, man. Because I tell Grap this all the time. It's like, Grap was one of my favorite MCs. Did I think Grap was some ill lyrical miracle rap god? No, but I like just dope MCs. And I thought Grap was dope. I thought he had a dope voice. He had a dope flow. And I always wondered why like he never kept making music. But Grap, kind of similar to me, works with kids now. I think they're actually doing an I and I album. So, you know, it could be coming back out, but that was the first group that I had up for that. The first R&B boy, and I wish more of my peoples was here because y'all already know where this is gonna go. My man Myron right there. You know what I mean? We all know this is the running joke of Apartment 5B that I love this album, but of course you see the dude kind of laid out on the bed like that. So everybody who's ever watched the show knows everybody. Yeah. Everybody gives me hell for loving this album. But once you get past the cover, shit, look at Stove God's cover. Like, I mean, once you get past the cover, you get an amazing piece of music. So once you get past the cover, you get an amazing piece of music. But I never heard from Myron again. I think he did come out with another album. But for me, the reason why it kind of faded was because he really was almost like a D'Angelo knockoff. Like, if you don't know Myron, YouTube, We Can Get Down. He had a joint with him and Spinderella, very heavy D'Angelo feel to it. So I just kind of felt like, even to me, whenever you're like, I don't want to say he was biting D, but whenever you're heavily that influenced by it, usually that kind of sheds itself after a while. So those are my two right there. Wes, your first time chopping it up with us. Who's a group or an MC or whoever who just disappeared with no trace?
All right, so the first one that came to mind, and I like this artist right here, is Young One from Rough Riders. Now, he originally appeared on Rough Riders Volume 2, and that's where he got me on the very first track was World War III with him, Snoop, Scarface, and Jada. And bro held his own. Like, his 16 was solid. And I look back over that album, like, yo, all of my favorite songs, Young One was a part of. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm hyped for this cat. When he dropped his solo album, I'm there for it. Which he did, the Dirtiest, Thirstiest. I mean, y'all heard the lead single, Set It Off, or Tear It Off with DMX.
Yep.
With the David Banner joint. And I'm like, oh yeah, I heard that. I'm like, yep, bro gonna be in this bitch. Cause you know, it was right around that time where like, you know, the crunk era of the South is taking off and his energy really fit that mold. Bro dropped that one album and was donezo. And it kind of shocked me. I'm like, yo, he had such a good buzz and such a good MC. I'm like, yo, whatever happened to him? Like, that was just it. Doing some research, basically, it sounded like, yo, Swiss didn't really know what to do with him. You know, and he kind of just fell through the cracks, kind of the same way, damn near with Cassidy. So, yeah, that kind of hurt me on that one. But second one I got up is my guy, Lord Have Mercy. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Hold on. We're going to just go with one right now. We're going to go around and just do one right now. You have any R&B you want to shout out? Or you just got straight hip hop?
No, I'm gonna shout out Flowetry. because
Yep.
that was a group that was they was gonna run R&B for a minute, man. They could both
Yep.
sing, had crazy production. Both albums were hits, and you know, at the time we didn't know what happened. They just stopped making music, and it's like, what happened? Well, come to find out, the dark skinned chick Natalie was hating, doing some backbiting stuff because around their second album, Marsha is linking up with Dr. Dre and doing a bunch of hooks and verses for him. And I guess she got jealous of that, and it caused a bunch of infighting. And so unfortunately they had to disband. Like I said, at the time we didn't know any of this, so it was like a screeching halt. But yeah, that's my R&B pick.
Yeah. Flowetry was crazy. I know they had a second album out, and I can't remember if they still were rocking with Dre and Vidal and that whole Touch of Jazz crew. Because whenever I feel like people dip from those producers, a lot can change. You know what I mean? So, but Flowetry is a dope joint too. And it's crazy because I didn't even realize this shorty from Insecure, I think Amanda Seales or whatever, that like she took over Flow. She was gonna be the MC for a while.
Yeah.
And then her and Marsha had issues, and throughout all that, like I always tell niggas, when the mortgage is due and kids are in college, now we get the reunion. Now we got Flowetry on the road again. They
they gonna be in the city too.
Oh yeah, see, when the mortgage is due, people put a lot of shit aside. All that beef go aside. Where it's like, you know what? Me and Vay got 8 albums together. Say we ain't fucking with each other. Vay got a kid in college. I got a kid in college. Yo, Vay, you ready to do another album? I can't stand you. Can't stand me. But fuck it. It's tuition got to get paid. So, got to make that happen. So, Spence, who you got for your first joint?
First one I got is this. I got connected to him through Lord Finesse. It's Percy P. So he came out,
Percy P.
So I heard him on a couple joints with Lord Finesse, and then he came out with a single with the boy EQ. Now they all want to see me join. This was like 92, so I grabbed this joint. But then he might did a couple songs here and there, but then like maybe a decade later, this when a whole stole through a record label came out with Mad Lib and all that stuff. Then he dropped the whole joint with Mad Lib called Perseverance. This joint. And then Mad Lib remixed the same album and put new beats on it, had a remix album. Then Mad Lib's brother, Oh No, did an album with Percy P I believe the next year. Then after that, he just vanished. I don't know what happened.
Right. That's crazy. I gotta listen to that joint because I never knew that Mad Lib remixed the first joint with new beats.
Yeah. It's called Perseverance, the remix. And
I
didn't
gotta
know
hear that joint.
Lord Finesse battle back in the day. They got an old like clip of them two battling in the projects. Then they it's like real gritty. You hardly can see, but they battled, and then they kind of redid the battle over, like with like years later, redid it all over again.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good pull. I gotta listen to that remix joint. You got any R&B or you strictly hip hop tonight?
Strictly hip hop.
All right, no doubt. Vay, what you got up, bro?
First up, Sauce Money. I mean,
man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, the first album didn't go the way we thought, but Sauce Money was hot, so it was only a matter of retooling. At least that's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? And you know what makes it, you know what makes it worse? Every time I hear like these underground cats, like Griselda and all of that, I'm like, Sauce Money would kind of kill some of these beats, like the style of the beats and his voice. I'm like, Westside Gunn need to sign him because that nigga would just get right back in pocket with that sound. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, nigga just be tweeting now, and I just be looking at them tweets like, man, what the fuck, where the rapping? Like,
yo, straight up.
I kind of feel like maybe it's some label shit, because anytime you see somebody sitting down for that long, it just feels like label shit. So.
The funny thing with Sauce, and I always tell a story, my OG, a kid called Roots. I was in New York like 97, summer 97 in Queens with Roots. Yo, Roots did a whole album for Source Money. That's bananas. That's literally everything we wanted from Middle Finger U is what Roots did. But, I don't know, something happened with Rockefeller and it just got shelved. Like, every time I talk to Roots, I'm like, bro, you gotta let that go. Like, at least let me hear that shit. Like, nigga, I ain't gonna, but the shit was everything that we wanted. And I always thought it was either some shit with Jay or some shit with Puff. Because it seemed like after he admitted to writing that Missing You for Puff, like, just disappeared. You know what I mean? So, and at that time during that Missing You talking about 97, Puff, the biggest star in the world right now. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like, and then, so if you beefing with Puff and Jay-Z, these the two fucking niggas that could snap their fingers like Thanos, and it's like, you going, nigga. Like, it's like you said, there's no way, as nasty as Source is. And for people, y'all know it. Anytime I bring up somebody that people may not know, go check out the Belly soundtrack. What is the name of that song, y'all? That's off the Belly soundtrack, was him and Jay-Z. I forgot what it's called, but the joint is crazy. Just look up the Belly soundtrack. And this nigga is going back and forth, line for line with Jay, with Hov. You know what I mean? With people who say the GOAT MC, Source is right there with you. Go check out the Soul in the Whole soundtrack. He's got a joint that Primo did for him called Against the Grain. That's bananas. You know what I mean? So Source, when you're that nasty, there's no other reason than you just either hate the game fucked you over so much you don't even want to rap no more, or like you said, Vague, some type of label stuff. Because Source was on my list too, because it's like, when I heard that nigga on Bring It On and all the other shit that he had, like leading up to that, what was that shit? God, it's been a long week, y'all. Forgive me, but the joint that's on the second album, Pre-game. Ooh, Pre-game. We used to destroy that at 889. It's only like 2 minutes. It was like a 2-minute rap song in like 97, and we would just run that back and forth. The beat is crazy. Jay go crazy. Source go crazy. Even a joint off the second Jay album with him and Jay. You know what I mean? Is joint is crazy. So definitely look up Source Money. The next people I got up, if y'all follow me enough.
I got an R&B joint.
Oh, my bad. You got it, Vic.
Carl Thomas. First album, we all loved it. I think the next two albums kind of got slept on, but they were very dope.
Yeah, the second joint. I never heard the third, but the second.
Yeah, the third joint is good too. And then he put out a fourth joint. He tried to go a little dance with it, and it just wasn't the same. And then that was it. And it was like, okay. And again, another nigga tweeting every day, and I'm like, yo, what you doing, nigga? Go sing, nigga. What you doing? Like,
oh, he be on Twitter like that?
He I think it's more Instagram than anything.
Okay.
But social
nigga,
media, from you, nigga, go make
get off the socials, go hit the booth or something.
Right. But yeah, it was sort of because I think the second and third albums, one of those wasn't on Bad Boy or either both.
I think the third one.
Yeah, and it was still good. You know how some of them left Bad Boy and the music wasn't the same. But I don't know what happened, and maybe he got dropped, or maybe he was just writing, because that's the thing. That maybe that's what Source Money's doing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, to have 3 good albums in a row, you can have a slip up, but he can still sing. The music sound good, but I don't know what happened. So
yeah, I'm always interested in, like, is it a Puff thing? Because when you really think about it, and Spence, especially because you're older than me, a lot of times people would leave labels, but the music still was dope. Like EPMD is a great example. They were on Fresh for their first 2 records. By the third album, they're on Def Jam, but nothing dipped. Like, you had that opportunity to be like, oh, you was on that label, now you on this label. I feel like once you was on Bad Boy, I don't know if any Bad Boy artist had success after they left Bad Boy. You know what I mean? And like, I think that's kind of like, okay, then there's something there. Like, is Puff blackballing people? Like, oh, word, Carl, you want to leave? I bet. He make that phone call. Anybody who played Carl Thomas shit on the radio, you don't get no more Bad Boy shit. And then of course the labels and the DJs gonna be like, oh well, we need Bad Boy, so sorry, Carl, we can't rock with you or whatever like that. Because like I said again, in the 80s and the 90s, cats would leave labels all the time. I mean, the Roots was on Geffen, then they got over to MCA. So I mean, we could go through the history of people being on, Nice and Smooth was on Fresh, and then they ended up on Def Jam. So again, but with Bad Boy, whenever it comes to them, nobody like, Total had 2 dope albums back to back, and then that was it.
Nothing.
So it's nothing. So it's not like, okay, and Total was dope. So I'm sure other labels was like, oh, you ain't on Bad Boy? Oh, come over here. But that never happened with no Bad Boy artists, and the people who did leave, shit, they got fucked up. Shine in jail, G Dep in jail, Mace done found religion, Loon in jail. You know what I mean? So I really think it's got to be something that Puff is doing, like behind the scenes, like, oh, word, you want to leave me? Okay, bet. You'll never be heard from again.
I already know he a wild boy, man. So, you know what I mean? Listen, I believe him. Like you said, nobody who left Bad Boy never popped anywhere else, man. Yeah, you got to look at what's going on.
Or you end up in jail, or you find God somehow. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. It's like you don't got a lot of choices. What are you gonna say, Veg?
Well, Loon put out a whack album on Bad Boy, so that nigga don't got no excuses. But he needed the religion.
Yo, what did Loon get locked up for again?
Like some coke or some shit like that.
Coke or something? All right.
But I was just gonna say, like, Carl Thomas' first album off of Bad Boy was really good. It's kind of like that 4th album probably needed Puff or somebody like that to say, nah, don't do this. But to your point, also, you probably don't have to block them when they don't have the same marketing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because there was a new Bad Boy release meant something, whether it was hip hop or R&B, and now you on whatever records and it's not the same budget. Maybe they not pushing in the same ways, and it just doesn't matter. But I know with Faith, she was missing terribly. Like with her album, I just stopped checking for it after a while. I was like, it's just garbage.
Right. And it's crazy because too, like you said, you don't. And sometimes I think, and like you said, Wes, with Puff, and we're seeing everything. Like this dude really has a God complex. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, oh, you want to leave me? Oh, and I'm gonna make sure don't nobody rock with you. And like you said, even if the album is good, if the album don't get promoted, then no. It's like, what's that? If a tree fall in the forest, does it make a noise? I mean, of course it does, but of course if somebody doesn't hear it, so it's almost like that. You can have the most incredible album, but if nobody's promoting it and nobody's marketing it, and then what good is it? And then when you have a nigga, you fucking with a nigga with a God complex, it's kind of like, don't work with them or you can't work with us. So again, it puts a nigga like, if I'm a producer and I'm trying to get on and Puff and I'm trying to do Carl Thomas album, Puff called me like, yo, nigga, you want to come get this 112 and Total and Biggie and all this other money over here? Don't fuck with Carl. It's like, oh, damn, Carl, like, oh, I got to get this money. So, and again, I could see Puff being that type of dude. Same with Jay. I could see Jay snapping some fingers and being like, yeah, nah, like what was that nigga on the Twilight Zone? He wish you out into the cornfield or some shit like that. Like I feel like that's like Jay and Puff. Like them niggas remind me of that type of nigga. That's like, oh, you don't fuck with Rockefeller no more? Oh, okay, bet.
Hey, listen. Puff already told us there's no way out the family, man. He been said it, man. We didn't pay attention.
Right. Or you gotta wait 25 years to get your publishing back. You know what I mean? So there's so many tie-ups that could be there that did that. So that's a great pick, Veg. Next up, if y'all know me, it's one of my favorite production crews ever. It is the Beat Nuts. I love these dudes to death. I don't have all of the joints right here, but I mean, we starting with that, Intoxicated Demons. Oh man, this is crazy. This one right here. Yo, did y'all ever know? I always thought this was just called the Beat Nuts. Niggas are now telling me it's called Street Level.
Oh. Nah, I thought it was Beat Nuts.
I never noticed Street Level on it.
Just because right there it says Street Level, but again, I ain't never heard nobody call it Street Level when it was out. Musical Massacre. I love the Nuts. Then you also had Take It or Squeeze It in 2001. The Originators in 2002. Take It or Squeeze It. And then Milk Me in 2004. These niggas is
Oh yeah,
wild, but
niggas on.
bro, I don't know. But the moral to the story is, yo, the last time we heard from these niggas was 22 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, the last joint they had out was 2004. So it's been 22 years since we've heard from the Beat Nuts, which is crazy to me. And I get it. A lot of people I've come into, me and Ev. Ev is my brother, but it's like, yo, he's like, nah, they couldn't rap. You know, Ev is super lyrical. So it's like, nah, I thought they was, to me, I don't need you to be super lyrical. Just make good songs. And I felt like Cycle Less and Juju got a million quotables for me, but after 2004, they just disappeared. And I mean, you weren't even seeing production credits from them. Like, it was nothing. Not just they're not dropping albums. I'm not seeing nothing that says produced by Juju or produced by the Beat Nuts. So it's kind of like they just disappeared. And then my next R&B, do I even have that up here? I don't know if y'all remember this boy. His name was Alfonso Hunter. And he had this joint out called Black of the Berry. And Eric Sermon signed him to Def Squad. This is like 97, 98, when everybody wanted, all the hip hop producers wanted the R&B singer to fuck with. And the album Black of the Berry is a dope album. Is it a 5 mic classic? Nah. Is it a very good album? Hell yeah. And it's like, boy just disappeared. You know what I mean? But I mean, very dope album. But again, boy just disappeared. But if y'all don't know about boy, get on it. Alfonso Hunter, very dope album. Wes, what you got up for your second one, bro?
All right, secondly, is my God, Lord Have Mercy. Now, you either got to be like a real MC head or you got to be like in New York to know about this. Because, you know, he came through with Busta Rhymes on Flip Mode Squad. That's, you know, where I first heard him. And then he got a song with Busta called Get Off My Block. Whew, man, dog, that blew me away. Like, bro is really that guy. And, you know, if you know Busta Rhymes, man, like, phenomenal artist, one of my favorite MCs. Like, yo, not too many people can say, yo, I had a verse with Busta and I either kept on pace or I did better than him. Lord have mercy got the better of us on that one. And, you know, not too many MCs can say that. So I was very super excited to hear, you know, he's going to drop his solo album, which, you know, the Ungodly Hour just never manifested. And I remember, you know, when my uncle and my aunt first got the computer, and I'm downloading hella songs and shit, and I happened to see, you know, Lord Have Mercy. I'm like, oh, he got some new stuff coming out, and it never materialized. And so doing the research, come to find out, he was actually working on the album, and then for whatever reason, they gave his window to Rod Digger to get her album on. You know, bounce back from that. You know, he ended up leaving Flip Mode Squad, doing his own thing, further investigation. You know, he kind of released a couple of solo projects, you know, kind of some, you know, underground mixtape stuff. But as far as big national release, it just never happened. And it's crazy because bro has a very distinctive voice and he can rap his ass off, man. Like, dude, man, and it just, he never transitioned to go do anything else or sign with nobody else. Bro just kind of pieced out afterwards, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy that you bring it up because I'm actually like, damn, like out of Flip Mode, you had Rampage, you had Rock Marcy, you had Lord Have Mercy, Baby Sham, and it seemed like Rod Digger, of course, Spliff Star, but it felt like none of them really ever had even close to the success that Busta had. You know what I mean?
Not
like
real.
Even with Rod Digger, and I know with Rod Digger was a lot of label problems and stuff like that, but it's just crazy when you have that type of squad. And I really think, and we'll talk about it later, because I think the mid 90s from like 95 to 2000, record labels played a huge role in all of this. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you think about EPMD and the Hit Squad. All them niggas were successful. You know, EPMD was successful, Redman was successful, Das Effects was successful. Hell, K-Solar with Your Mom's in My Business and Spellbound to a level was successful. There was a point, Boot Camp Click, you know, Black Moon was successful. Smith and Wesson, like, so it's just crazy when you look at some of these rap crews, how all these other people, other members of the crews went on to be successful. But when you look at Flip Mode, like they just didn't. And I
No,
don't know if
real.
that's a Buster thing. I don't know if that's a management thing. I don't know if that's a label thing. But it's funny when you said Lord have mercy. I'm like, damn, did anybody? I mean, Jamal did put out his joint. You know what I mean? That a lot of people fuck with. But most people only know the remix to God, what was it? Fades Them All, the Pete Rock remix to Fades Them All. Yeah, you know what I mean? But it seemed like, but even Jamal, like I said, it wasn't like you said with Lord have mercy, they drop albums, but they don't do nothing. You know what I mean? So
For
yeah,
real.
that's a good call because I didn't think about that with flip mode. But yeah, you get with flip mode and you really just don't come out, or if you do come out, it don't amount to shit. You know what I mean? So
And
that's
weren't they promoting Lord Have Mercy's albums? I
yeah,
feel like I
they
saw
were.
that.
Yeah. It was Lord Have Mercy. Split Star supposed to have a album. The only person that didn't have an album supposed to come out was Baby Shem. And
Hmm.
that's kind of weird itself. But yeah, everybody from Flip Mode at some point was supposed to have their own individual album.
And it's
Split
funny,
should have
babe,
had
because
his.
and the funny thing is, I remember they had the Flip Mode album because we used to bang that Cha 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 at 889. So I thought that Flip Mode album was like, all right, y'all, here's our like compilation album. Like, okay, and after this, it's off to the races. But again, we're going to talk about the mid 90s because I think that played a lot of roles in why a lot of these people didn't pop like that. Spence, who you got up next, bro?
I'm gonna piggyback off the beat nuts, because
Mm-hmm.
I was messing with the beat nuts heavy too, but I also liked them when they had fashion
Had
with it.
fashion.
Cause I
Yep.
actually thought he was like the better rapper out of all of them. He had a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
style, a little bit of lyrical stuff, but then he went off and became Al Tariq. I
Yep.
got
Out to
this
read.
joint right here, and
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, I can't remember if I bought this in real time or the re-release, but this is
Okay.
a very dope album. And this is the only thing he dropped, and then he just disappeared. And I know when he was with the Beatnuts, he did a bid maybe once or twice, so he was kind of in and out. So he would come home, he'll be with them, and then he go back. And then I don't know if they had some issues, and he never came back to them. But he was a dope artist. Like I said, his album is a
Yeah.
real good joint, and
Yeah.
he
I
just
mean,
disappeared.
some of my favorite verses off that first Beatnuts album is Fash. You know
Yeah,
what I
facts.
mean? Like, was dope. And it's wild because it's weird. And tell me this, y'all, because maybe it's different. I didn't feel like the Beatnuts really lost a step when he left. Like,
So the two still had chemistry. Those two just had a chemistry with each other. They had like a funny
yeah,
sense of humor, kind of too.
right. But it's just weird because it's like, I grew up watching the Three Stooges, and if one of them niggas left, like, nah, nigga, this ain't the same. You know what I mean? Whereas I don't even like, I don't even know if I felt like, damn, where's Fash on this next album? You know what I mean? Which is strange to say because he's dope as hell. But how
Hmm.
many times is somebody dope as hell in the group and they leave and we don't feel some kind of way? Like, I say it all the time about the Roots. I think after Malik left, the Roots just weren't the same to me. Like, they just weren't the same. Or Fife leaving Tribe. Tribe wouldn't be the same if well shit, we almost got it on Beach Rhymes of Life where Fife ain't there and now you got consequences. Most people's beef was like, who's this nigga? And why he here? And where's Fife? And maybe that's just because the nuts wasn't big enough. The beat nuts, let me not say nuts and niggas start saying pause. Maybe the beat nuts wasn't big
Next
enough.
segment, we ain't
Right,
gonna get out
yeah.
of this segment.
Yeah,
we know what
so
you're talking
yeah.
about, man. Shit.
Right, yeah. I don't even want to say nuts because then it's gonna pause. Kill damn nigga, you just talking about nuts on the show. But maybe because they weren't that big that we didn't notice. But yeah, I mean, and that's fucked up to say, but yeah, I feel
But I
you on
also
that.
think too. I think the first with the EP, Fash wasn't
Yeah,
on the
the EP.
EP first, so we was already used to him not being there the first time.
Right,
So when they came
right.
out with
With
the
the
street
album.
level props got over
Right.
here, you heard him
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. Props over here was my shit. Ah,
Yeah,
man, I love
yeah.
it. I love the beat nuts. All right, Veg, who you got up next, bro?
Stove God. Nah, I'm just joking.
Bruh.
But it is true. At this
Yeah.
point. I got Malik from Illegal. I always
Mm.
thought he was
Mm.
the doper out of the two. When you heard him on Doggy Style, he got busy. Then he did a song with Monica, and I'm like, damn, he rapping for real on the R&B joint. And then that was it. And he may have had something out, because I vaguely remember something from him back in the day, but I just because he had he had the voice as a kid. It didn't really change as he got older.
Yeah.
He had the charisma, like he had it all really, and then he had the backing from people like Eric Sermon to Snoop and the Death Row thing. I just didn't understand how
Naughty by Nature too.
somebody should. Yeah, I just didn't understand how somebody could get that many chances with some of the heavyweights in the game and perform. You know what I'm saying, and still not go on to have a solo career at least that was at least comparable to Jamal, because at least Jamal got his solo and all the Def Squad. So it was just disappointing for somebody who was really dope.
Yeah, no doubt. For people out there, check out the illegal joint. This is Jamal and Malik's first group. We Gets Busy. Again, love these two, man. And it's funny because I felt like they were like the baby Tretch and baby Redman. You know what I mean? Like, it was almost like they, Tretch dark skin with the Johns, here come Malik and everything like that. And, to me, Jamal kind of favored Redman, but it was just like, okay. And like you said, after Doggy Style, I thought it was going to be off to the races for him. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, you on one of the biggest releases of all time. Ain't got busy, but then it fizzles out. And again, I don't know if y'all ever saw the Questlove Supreme with Dallas Austin explaining illegal. If y'all haven't seen that, watch that. And they actually have a clip, so you don't have to watch the whole show. You can just zoom in and watch the clip. Funniest shit ever. Like, these two niggas didn't know each other, didn't fuck with each other, nothing. Like, absolutely nothing at all. Like, which blows my mind. But what's your R&B joint, Veg?
Erykah Badu. At some point, she decided she was just going to do shows and not release. I think the last official thing we got was like that mixtape when she like remixed that Drake record and kind of got it popping and then put out like a full mixtape. But beyond that, I mean, and she went on record saying why, because she was paying her bills, touring, it was working out for her. But it just seems, considering the type of music she put out, and most of it is great, you would think by now she'd have another album, but we just haven't. And I don't know what's going to happen with the
Alchemist joint.
Yeah, because that first try was so lackluster to me,
right?
That they could have done something a little bit better. But I don't know, maybe sometime soon. But it's been a minute, so
yeah. And it's funny with the Alchemist joint, it was like, yo, it's dropping, and then it just didn't drop. And I think Erykah had tweeted something like, yeah, talk to Al about that or something. But it was just like, and like you said, the first joint, I'm like, singing over the realness really ain't doing it for me. Like, come on, y'all. Like, so I'm definitely still intrigued to hear what they were going to cook up, and maybe we'll see it, or, maybe we won't. The next group we got up, another group who I felt was the West Coast version of the Beatnuts, but better lyrically, was the Alcoholics. I loved the Alcoholics. You know what I mean? 21 and Over in 93, Coast to Coast in 95, Liquidation 97, XO Experience 2001, Firewater 2006. I saw this looking this up. They said they dropped the album last year in 2025 called Damn, but I'm like, I ain't never heard nothing about that. You know what I mean? So I can't call that. I saw Tash had a new song out. I seen like the video for it on YouTube or whatever a couple of weeks ago. But again, like really after Liquidation to me, even the XO Experience, that was a joint when they got with Pharrell for that. I forgot the name of it, but they were trying to go that way a little bit. It just never popped. And I'm just like, yo, but these two boys, for me, they had two back-to-back 5 mic classics with 21 and Over and Coast to Coast. You know what I mean? To me, Tash was always heralded as one of the dopest MCs. I always try to shout out J-Ro because he was a little more like, kind of like you were saying, Spence with the Beatnuts. He was kind of more funny. But like, yo, when a nigga said, yo, you got a fucked up name like Dip Butt Kiss, I'm like, yo, this shit is funny. And it fit with the flow of the song. You know what I mean? And, so... so and then they just kind of disappeared, and again, it's always not just they're not even making records. I ain't seen nothing that said produced by E Swift in probably over 25 years. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, damn, this boy's producing all the Alcoholics. gave Helter Skelter they joint Operation Lockdown, and then I get it if y'all don't want to make music together. But then, Tash did drop that solo album, Rap Life, that was not good. But just for nobody to be doing nothing is always like, damn, what happened to that? And then on the R&B, me and Vague always talk about this boy right here. He dropped this, then I think he may have dropped another album, and it was a rap. Never heard from him again. Chico DeBarge. This is not his debut album. Go Google his debut album if you want to have a good laugh. This was the joint that's very similar to Myron, very D'Angelo-esque. This is all D'Angelo steez, but to me, it's a 5 mic album. I love this album. You can't go wrong with this album, especially at a time when I wanted to hear some new D'Angelo, and we were still 4 years away from getting Voodoo, but we didn't know. Very dope album, but after that, it didn't mesh. And I think a lot of times, again, when you're biting somebody else's style and then you try to come with something different, it's like, well, we only really fuck with you because you kind of was sounding like D and we wanted some new D, and now you don't sound like him no more. So, it's whatever. So those are my two. Wes, what you got up next, bro?
Hey, yo, I'm gonna make y'all head up with this one, man. Because I like the stipulations of what we had. I was like, all right, so it kind of made it hard to pick and choose. But my next choice I'm going with is the band.
Okay. Walking to Brooklyn for some cheesecake. And I'm going to talk to you about why this is funny. Do your thing, but I'm not mad at it because I got something in the back of my head for you.
No, because, listen, I know we get caught up in, the making the band antics and shit like that, man. But looking at them, through a music lens and appreciating music, bro, they was dope. I thought so. I thought, listen, if they really would have kicked Dialing out the band, that would have been flawless. Everybody could rap. Plus, you had the R&B chick singing, so you got that nice little mix of hip hop and R&B, which, with them being signed to Diddy, it was right up their alley. He know how to make that work, man. I was excited as hell when I got that CD. They had slaps on that bad boy. It wasn't just one song. They had some knockers on there. And so I'm thinking, all right, it's cool. They're going to build off of this momentum. They backed by Diddy. You went bad boy. Nothing else ever came out of that. Now, eventually, Babs, Enes, Chopper kind of went on and, did their own thing. I think Sarah did a couple of albums by herself, but it never really amounted to what they did as a group. And this is when I started realizing, hey, you signed the Bad Boys, some janky stuff starts to happen. If you don't pop after this, if you leave Bad Boy, nothing else happens for you. Which is weird because I thought, especially with Chopper and Enes, they were already established prior to the band. The band shot them off superstardom. I figured, okay, they could maintain that and do well for themselves, but they've never really been able to follow up that first album. So that's my pick for right there.
The funny thing with the band is I almost feel like you got two different versions of Bad Boy. By the time you get into the band, you're now he's an icon in himself. So it's almost like I got this show just to make me look good. Yeah, I'm gonna sign these niggas, but I'm really not fucking with them. You know what I mean? Like you know how it'd be a contest. When you think about everybody else who got signed to Bad Boy, you got signed to Bad Boy because I saw you and I liked what you had. Now we fucking with VH1. Now we're just doing. I'm just keeping up with the Joneses. Everybody got an American Idol. Okay, fuck it. We need an American Idol. So I'm gonna sign you, but I'm sure that he probably gonna sign him to a 1 album deal. This shit gonna be a tax write-off or Day 26. Truth be told, that Day 26 first album, I know people watching probably laughing at me because y'all never heard it. It's some bangers on there. Brian Michael Cox, who's a very dope R&B producer, produced the bulk of the album. So it's like, I get it. You saw all the jokes and all of that, but so I just think Danity Kane had some bangers on their first album. And again, I know people are like, Kill Stop, but you gotta listen to the album. Timbaland, I think, got 3 joints on that Danity Kane album that are all bangers. So I just think when you signed to that Bad Boy, you wasn't gonna get it was all for the cameras. It was all for VH1, which I gotta at least give Puff credit for at least dropping the album. Because truth be told, he could have been like, you know what? I ain't dropping shit. Think about Love and Hip Hop. Think about how many rappers I don't know how much y'all watch Love and Hip Hop. Me and T.A. used to be like our little guilty pleasure. When you think about everybody on Love and Hip Hop, every season somebody's rapping, and literally Cardi B is the only person who ever popped, like out of 18 seasons. And K Michelle. K Michelle kind of popped, you know. But every season there's at least 6 rappers, men and women, on Love and Hip Hop, and none of them amount to anything. Stevie J's girl, Jocelyn or whatever, the Puerto Rican, the Puerto Rican prince, nothing. But every episode she in the studio. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. Like, I felt like anybody who signed a Bad Boy after 2000 off of a VH1 alley-oop, nobody was really gonna put the money or the effort or the time behind it, just because I'm only doing this shit for VH1. Like, and I'm gonna have to do dumb
tax
shit.
write-off.
It was. I'm gonna make these niggas. I'm gonna make these niggas walk to Brooklyn. I'm gonna make these niggas do this. I'm gonna make these niggas. That's why the Dave Chappelle skit is so fucking funny, because it's like none of this shit got to do with entertainment. It's just bullshit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the crazy thing is, I love Ness. Ness is from Philly. I follow Ness on IG. Ness always got a crazy freestyle. Like, Ness to me, I know people gonna say I'm bugging. Top 5 MC walking the planet Earth right now when it comes to just freestyle shit. Of course, not no albums.
That's
but
what I was saying. Like, Ness is talented. Like, yo, you should be able to bubble off of being with Diddy and dropping, you know, the band album. Like, all right, you got the spotlight. Now, Ness, you could really take off. And it just didn't happen. Because, like you said, Ness, woo, yo, he got some mean freestyle, dog. He'll get you.
He became a battle rapper.
Yeah, he became the battle rapper. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Ness, when I'm listening to Ness, out of all the people who I see online, Ness is a top 5 MC for me. If you freestyling or just dropping a verse, Ness is top 5 to me. I'm always reposting the Ness joint because it's something crazy. But again, it's something about Bad Boy. I don't know if y'all seen the nigga Q from Day 26. The nigga started crying talking about Puff, like, and shit.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That he would do, like. That, like you said earlier, Wes, I believe it all. And who knows what the fuck Puff had these young niggas doing. You know what I mean? So,
straight up.
It's crazy. Spence, who you got up next, bro?
I got K Solo, actually.
Okay.
2 albums with the Hit Squad. Both, I mean, I like the second one, Time's Up, better than the first one. But had got some noise with the first one, with, like you said, Your Mama's in My Business, stuff like that. And just seemed like Redman pulled him back in for the single. What is it? My Brother, something I can't remember. Off the Just Ice beat.
Yep.
And then just disappeared. Like, you might see him every once in a while when him and Redman, cause I think they got the same birthday or something. They might be on IG celebrating their birthday together. But other than that, the 2 albums, and that was it.
Yeah. You're right. And he did
his comeback.
You said what, Vay?
I said I think K Solo kind of fumbled his comeback.
He had a comeback
when Redman put him on that joint.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because Redman was hot at the time, and when I saw K Solo was on, I was like, oh, they on a record together. Then as soon as I heard all that, baby carry, spit bananas, I was like, oh nah, get this. then DMX wasn't fucking with him. It was like, yeah he out of here. Like, come on.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And it's funny, I think too, with Solo, I always joke because back in 90, you could have, like, if you looked at your style as a superpower, it's kind of like, yo, the nigga was a speller. You know what I mean? So, like, your superpower is spelling. It's like, damn, nigga. But I'm with you, Smith.
Stuff like sneakers,
bro. You don't understand. Tell the World My Name. His debut album is one of my favorite albums of the 90s. Like Spellbound, Rockin' for My Hometown, Everybody Knows Me, Fugitive, Tales from the Crack Side, Your Mom's in My Business, Will the Real Solo Stand Up, Renee, like, dog, like, that whole album for me, again, is a classic for me, personal classic. Do I expect anybody else?
Second joint. The
second joint was hard as hell too. You know what I mean? So
Who's Killing Who, House Party, The Formula.
Yeah, I mean, there's bangers on both of those joints. Can't Hold Me Back was stupid, man.
Yeah.
It
Oh
was
yeah,
stupid.
Can't Hold Me Back. I
Yeah,
Yeah,
forgot.
can't hold me back on
that,
there.
that, that was stupid.
Reminiscent of a black prisoner, like
And I don't know if being around, but I think the hard part is when I look at the hit squad, K Solo came in last place, which isn't a bad thing. It's not last place like nigga you whack. It's just like you're coming in last place with Redman, who to me is one of the GOAT MCs ever. You know, Das Effects. I know their style kind of got played out, but Das was always going to be more popular than K Solo. So it's almost like you're coming in last. It's almost like to me like
it was
fucking
like
what is
the 250,000 selling album where you got Red, might have got one
right,
gold,
right,
EPMD might have won gold or maybe platinum, and DOS Effect was just platinum.
right.
Mhm.
Right. And I think like that's the thing. It reminds me of what was Joe Button's group called? Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse.
Like
Mhm.
whenever people be like, yo, rank Slaughterhouse, and it's like, oh, Crooked Eye come last. But Crooked Eye, that don't mean he's the worst, or Joel comes last. Like you're coming last amongst four great lyricists, you know. So coming in last place ain't a bad thing. It's just like I don't think you're as nice as Royce or and it's funny because I've had this conversation and nobody ever has the same person coming in last. Some people don't like Joe, and I don't even want to say don't like. They just have Joe coming in last. I've met people, Joel coming in last. The only time I've never heard somebody coming in last is Royce. But I've heard the other three members, someone say, oh, Joe Buttons is last for me. Oh, Joel is last for me. Oh, Crooked is last for me. But even if Crooked is last for you, he's still better than probably 35 of your favorite MCs, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
For real.
but yes, Solo was dope as shit, man. Solo was dope as shit for that minute. Even on Headbang, it's not like niggas was like, oh, here comes Solo. Fast forward.
He still had it. He still
Yeah.
had it.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, there was never the space where you're like, oh, God, why the fuck K Solo on here? Like, we never got to that point. But like you said, he just disappeared, you know?
This is
So
up 20, by the way.
I will take that for game 7. I will take that. And you remember, I don't even want to go on easy because I'm sitting here like I should have bet. No, the fuck I shouldn't have because it's
Yeah, I know he
Embiid.
hit me with
It's
that.
Embiid. At the end of the day, it's Embiid, and I don't trust you,
It's
nigga.
9
They,
minutes left. 9 minutes left.
hey, anything with Embiid can go fucking wrong. This nigga fucking could get tonsillitis at fucking halftime and have to have surgery. So I'm not betting on shit. Veg, what you got up next, bro?
Up next, I have Poster Boy. Rest in peace.
Oh, dude died?
Yeah, he passed away.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Maybe like a year or two ago. But like his popularity came from the battles on 106 in Park.
He used to
Right.
And he just kind of like he had the flow, he had the charisma, he had the swagger, delivery, everything. He from Harlem, so it kind of felt like the next generation was about to hit. Then he dropped that joint Jurassic Harlem on some mixtape shit, and I was like, this song is fucking crazy. Like, yo, I know he about to drop an album, and nothing else came after that. Like, no other songs, no nothing really. Maybe a freestyle here and there, but I think with him, and for those watching, like label situations aren't only for those who have been able to release shit. There are people get signed and never get shit out who are stuck in a label situation, which is probably worse. You know what I mean? But I know he had a couple of situations, and then he was around for like a long time, and he just, I don't know, he never really put anything out. No, obviously no albums, like not even like a mixtape to kind of get something off, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if there were things connected with that, and then it was just like he just fell off the map. But I didn't think anything of it when he was doing the battle joint, because it's battle rappers. It's like some of them put out music, some don't. But when I heard that Jurassic Harlem shit, I was like, no, he knows how to write songs. Also, he could be something special, and it just never materialized.
That's
And
a mixtape or album? A mixtape? Jurassic Harlem?
It's just a song.
Oh, I never heard it before.
Yeah, I never heard it. I'm like, I gotta check that out. I never heard the joint.
Yeah, the shit was high. I heard it on a mixtape. It's on YouTube because that's the only place I had to download it, because I was like, man, I need to find that shit. But yeah, again, when you looking at that momentum, because I watch him wasn't watching 106 in Park like that around that time. But I would hear about like who was hot, and then I'll go watch. So when I heard that song, I was like, shit, Shorty probably the one that's about to blow, coming out of that battle shit, and just didn't happen. And it's unfortunate because we at least could have got a dope debut, but who knows what the situation was.
Question: do you know, like, was the 106 in Park, did he get a record deal? Like, do we even know if he got signed, or was he just like the freestyle boy? Or was it like, oh, you win and you get the record deal and da 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 da? Or
I think so. I don't know if his situation was based off of winning the contest, but I know he did have a situation, because the unfortunate part about guys like that who have potential, even if they're not even on a stage like that, maybe they got some buzz locally, and especially if you're from New York, you're already in the spot where you could probably get heard. But I think in his case, and in a lot of guys' case, you probably signed a whack management deal that prevented you from the next level, right? Because sometimes you got to get with the right people who can get you to the right people, like how they did with Big. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was like working together, like, yo, Mr. C, Big, Mr. C the Puff, like, yo, sometimes it works out like that, but I think that might have been what it was. And even a bum ass management deal could block a label situation. So
right.
Terrible story though.
You watch that 106 in Park freestyle, you see mad people that like Skyzoo was on there freestyle.
Yep.
And like I was like, Hell Rel, like mad people was on that joint.
It's funny, and again, I'm no way comparing it to the unsigned hype, because there were heavy hitters in the unsigned hype. Like, but a lot of young boys don't know that. Like Mobb Deep was in that, Common was in that, Big was in there. Like when you look, DMX was in the unsigned hype. Like, you know what I mean? So like you said, Big, you have people trying to, when you sit back and you hear about Big, like you said, there's so many hands in it that was trying to get him. And then even with Jay, it's Clark Kent trying to introduce Jay to Dame. And like you said, so it's like that management deal piece is a huge piece too. Next up, we've got another Department 5B lawyer. We're going with Mr. Tracy Lee right here. Many faces. After this drop, the average fan of Trey Lee was like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? Again, I've known Trey since Howard in 91, when he used to go by El Rock. My old head is down with his crew, so I was a young boy. But it's like, I knew he had the Live from the 215 album that was about to drop, but then the label shelved it. So to me, a lot of these artists, especially when you're dealing with the mid 90s, you're coming down to the label politics of shelving your album because hip hop was changing in such a way. Another boy I got, and I'll throw him in here because we in the same time frame as Large Professor. He on Midnight Marauders talking about buy the album when I drop it in 94. And niggas, we was waiting for fucking 20 years. And again, for people watching, this isn't the official release. This is some old, I don't know, 10 years later, some label got the rights to it and printed it up or whatever like that. But at the time, Large Professor, and this album, to me, this is a 5 mic classic. Again, people may not agree with me, but I love this album. But the problem is this album, he was signed to Geffen. But when Vague helped me, because I'm getting old, dude who committed suicide from Guns N' Roses.
Axel.
Guns N' Roses?
Or who were you about to say? Who did it? Axel? Who?
Yeah, his name is Axel something, I think. I can't remember.
Hold on. I'm bugging because
I don't think it was Axel.
Not Axel Rose.
Hold on.
You talking about the Team Spirit Boy?
I gotta look it up real quick because I don't want to get this wrong.
You talking about Nirvana?
Nirvana.
Yeah,
so they were on Geffen. So Quest talks about how after he committed suicide, because they was their big breadwinner, because number one, Geffen wasn't even a hip hop label. They were a rock and roll label, but they signed the Roots. I want to say they signed Large Professor and somebody else. So after the suicide, the label kind of went into shambles. But then it was also, this album is a very boom bap SP1200 album. So when you're recording this album in 95, 96, and they're ready to release it in 97, but now we're in the shiny suit era. So a lot of labels was like, we ain't putting this out because it's not going to get radio play because you're talking about Bad Boy, you're talking about Puff and everything like that. So when we talk about the I&Is and the Large Professors and you talk about the Trey Lees, so many of these follow-up albums were getting shelved, and we just never knew. You know what I mean? The only reason why I knew about Live from the 215 is because my man Steve, who was down with Trey, was playing me joints off of it, which was crazy. And again, the same way, like Live from the 215, like, yo, it's like that Source Money album I was talking about. Like, this joint was crazy at the time. You know, and I think he has it out now. I mean, Trey is going on to do the Esquire, that's from 2014, Expect the Unexpected from 2019, Glory from 2020, and then Different from 2024, which I actually got production credit on for a joint called Footsteps on there. But it's funny because when Trey comes on the show, or if I'm talking about Trey, people will be like, damn, what happened to the boy? I don't remember him after that one song. And it's like, yo, nigga got 6 more albums out, but it's indie, and you can't, you know, if you're not really tapped into it, you wouldn't know. R&B wise, I got this shorty, India Davenport. India Davenport used to be the lead singers for the Brand New Heavies. You know, India has one of them voices that I love. I think she has a beautiful voice. Not saying she's a great singer, beautiful voice. Had a dope solo album out. It was called India Davenport. The first single was called Bring It On. Primo remixed it, and that was a banger. But after that, she just disappeared and just never heard nothing back from her again. So that's my hip hop and R&B. Wes, what you got up next, bro?
All right, my next one. This is a personal favorite, man, because my cousin put me onto this album, and you know, my cousins put me onto like so much dope music back in the day. But Original Gun Clappers, man.
OGC.
Like, I love OGC, man. I love the first album, The Storm. That was like super influential to some stuff that I put out. And you know, along with them, they can spit, man. I loved it. I love that raw, aggressive New York stuff, man. You know, them, Helter Skelter, who else? Smith and Wesson. I think they were all part of that collective. So I was just rocking with everybody, but OGC was, just drew me in for some reason. And I remember the first album, The Storm, still bumping to this day, and I just never heard anything else from them. Now, a couple of years ago, I'm not going to front. I didn't know they put out a second album called The Empire Strike Back. And, I guess if you're looking at the time frame of when they dropped and, the rappers who were who were out at that point, I can kind of see why that second album didn't get as much hype, man. You got so many people coming in. It's like, what? They put out 95, so I think the second album was like 97, 98. Like you said, like you kind of in the shiny suit era, so it really didn't match. I see why it really did get the promotion, man. But to me, it never made sense. Why they didn't continue to make music. I think, what's the guy's name? Starain. I think he put out a couple of stuff independently, but it never really amounted to anything, man. But I thought that was crazy. Like, yo, they still couldn't, put something out because I don't think their sound faded. It's very much New York gritty stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it never amounted to anything. And I would figure, with the resurgence of everything now, like, yo, they can easily go get back in the booth, link up with the beat miners, and get something out that people still appreciate because, with the rise of Griselda and Rock Marcy, that sound is still there. You know what I mean? But I don't know, for whatever reason it may be, they just don't want to mess with the music no more. But yeah, they done for it. And it hurts. It hurts, man. I love OGC, man.
Yeah, OGC was dope, man. I think a couple of things with them. I mean, one, the beat miners and the boot camp kind of breakup, you know what I mean, didn't help. Then they kind of went through I felt like the boot camp clique kind of went through this, we gonna produce our own beats. Y'all remember that album, For the People? And that shit was horrible. The beats was bad. And then by the time the Empire Strikes Back, I ain't even gonna hold you. If it ain't say produced by the Beat Miners, I ain't even want to hear that shit. So I think I heard it like once or twice. but it wasn't enough to kind of pull me in. And the sad part is I liked all of them together. You know what I mean? Like, I always felt like Strain Wonder was like the lead singer or whatever, but it was like, I liked the other two, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy, like you said. I just think, like, once that, I don't think anybody in the boot camp clique except Sean Price really bounced back from the glory days of the boot camp clique. Like, for me, Smith and Wesson have never come back to the shining. OGC never came back. Helter Skelter, Black Moon, you know, never came back to like the heights where they were. And it's funny that you say, yo, they could get with the Beat Miners now. The hard part with the Beat Miners is they dropped the album because they've been doing production albums. In fact, this joint right here is a banger that nobody talks about. This Brace for Impact, there are some bangers on here. And this is from like 97 because this is Raucous. But I heard a Beat Miners album like a minute ago, and it was like, it's cool. You know what I mean? But it's almost like that ship done sailed. You know what I mean? And I think, too, I don't know if you heard this, Vague, did you hear that Strain felt like Tech set him up with the Biggie beatdown?
Word? Nah, I didn't hear that.
Whoa.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Let me take that back. He didn't say Tech. What he said was, somebody in the clique set me up. Then later on, you find out Tech is the only one who's from Bed-Stuy, from the boot camp clique. So Tech is always with Big. So again, let me not start no rumors, but I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. That if you saying you think somebody from the boot camp clique set you up, and Tech is the only nigga who's from Bed-Stuy and who's always with Biggie, you know what I mean? So yeah. So, but yeah, I'll try to find a link and I'll send it to everybody. But yeah, like Strain was saying, he felt like he got set up, and that was one of the things that kind of fractured, you know, the boot camp clique kind of down the middle. Because some people, I guess, believe Strain, some people believed whoever the member is or whatever like that. But they said after that, just wasn't the same no more, whatever like that.
And they was beefing with Old Dirty at one point. Like, I remember them saying the lyric and I didn't catch it until some years later. I was like, oh snap! They was going with Old DB for a minute.
I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? So, but I do know Biggie's people pistol whip. The thing I loved about Big is Big was never there. Like, Big is like the super duper like criminal mastermind. Like, nigga, I ain't going to jail. Yo, y'all go beat them niggas up. Or, you know what I mean? Y'all got these niggas up here shooting a video in LA. Yo, y'all go do that. But Big was like, nigga, I'm home with some chick. Like, y'all ain't resting me. What you gonna say, man?
Biggie had Brooklyn like that. I mean, niggas think Big got Brooklyn like that. Nah, Big had Brooklyn like that. I was gonna say, like, and you know, this could be rumor, but I know back then, obviously it was Junior Mafia, which wasn't only the rap niggas. It was the whole neighborhood. But that when they rushed the studio, which Tech probably told them, like, them niggas right there. Like, they ain't there. Because I was like, Smith and Wesson was there? Like, when I was just thinking about a fight, like, Smith and Wesson wasn't there? They was like, nah. Like, oh, okay. But they did all of that, like you said. Pistol Whip ran in there. But I heard they put Big on the phone. And made niggas talk to him. And he was like, you know, be talking shit about me. Like, and I'm like, damn, this is my favorite rapper.
Right? My favorite rapper fucking up my favorite rap crew at the time. Yeah,
that's why I asked Smith and Wesson there. I was like, Smith and Wesson there? Okay, I'm good. Fuck them niggas up. I don't know what
You know, the wild part is when Strain tell the story, is like, mad niggas was in the studio, then it's like niggas just disappeared and I was in here by myself. Like, it went from being
I heard that. So that's dope that he said that because, well, I mean, I know it was bad, but I heard that there were other niggas in there, Helter Skelter, and the rest of OGC, and they like ran to a room and like closed or locked the door, and he was the one they got caught, and you know, end the story.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But
watch your mouth, nigga. That's all you got to do. Watch your mouth, okay?
Yeah, niggas. The wild part is, I think we may need to do a show. I'll write it down because niggas be biting shit. So, but I that just gave me an idea for a show. But yeah, like you said, watch your mouth, man. Watch your mouth. Spence, what you got up next, bro?
Uh, I got Crew. I don't know if y'all remember Crew. They had the
Do I
joint
remember
Just
Crew,
Another Kid.
nigga?
Yeah, Pronto, Just
Pronto,
a Case.
nigga.
Yeah,
That was crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
Woo.
Dope album. Probably was a little too long because it was a lot of songs and
It
skits
was
on
like
that.
48 songs on that
yeah,
motherfucker. It was like 48. That shit gave me
yeah.
overkill just looking at the track list and like, God damn, I ain't gonna stop listening to this album for 3 years.
Yeah, but they had some dope joints, dope singles, dope album overall. Maybe a little too long, like I said. And then they just kind of just disappeared. Like I know the boy Yogi used to do stuff with like Bad Boy, like the
Yeah.
Hitmen,
Yeah,
like
Yogi
that.
got on with them.
Dumb. But other than that, after that, I didn't hear anything else from him after that. So
Yeah,
I don't know what happened. They
I'm
had
with you, bro.
yeah, Slick Rick on there on the Just the Case.
Yeah,
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
yeah, hell yeah. They was dope as hell. And then, like you
Yeah,
said,
they
just disappeared.
disappeared.
Like they came and went. Like it was nothing. But shit, that Pronto was my shit. God damn. I'm gonna have to pull that out tonight to listen to that joint. That's a good pull right there, man. That's a good pull. Who you got up next, Veg?
Up next, hold up, my wife fucking texting me like it's noon and shit. I'm like, goddamn, what the fuck? I'm just downstairs.
Oh, Veg, here's the thing. Here's the thing real quick, Veg, from what I said on IG the other day. The funny thing, for people watching, I've known Veg for 30 years now? I don't even know. But when I think about Brooklyn, I think about Veg. And when I think about Brooklyn, I just think about fucking mean ass niggas. And it was him and his wife's anniversary. Salute to the anniversary. And this nigga said the sweetest shit. And I had to reply like, nigga, you got feelings? Like, nigga, I've known you for fucking 30 years. And the shit that he wrote was so sweet. I'm like, nigga, that ain't Brooklyn, man. Like, that's not, I'm not used to that from you, Veg. No, I'm not, I know it is, but I'm just saying, I'm not yeah, like I'm not used to that from you. So that's what I meant. And I'm like, let me let him know, like, that's what I meant. But it's like, I'm like, nigga, I didn't even know you could say something like nice and romantic.
Before I used to write raps, I wrote poetry. No bullshit.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Sold some poetry too.
Okay.
Okay. Get with her. All right.
Yo, it's so funny you said that. I don't even want to talk about ghostwriting no more. That's been my timeline the whole week. But yeah, when you said you sold some poems, I'm like, see, niggas don't do nothing for free. You gotta get this poem, like, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, keep going, man. But first, congratulations, anniversary. Spence, shout out to your wife. Beating cancer, birthdays, a lot of beautiful things to celebrate, man.
Yeah,
a lot of things to celebrate.
25 years, man.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Damn, salute.
Right.
Yeah, we had no time in the shop.
Some of y'all know this, but and Kill, I know you. I known you and Tanya for a minute. But don't sometimes you like mention a movie like, yeah, man, when I went to see motherfucking New Jack City, and she was like, yeah, I was there. Like, wait a minute.
Right, we've been together that long.
In '93, like I ain't fucking nobody else, like. But
bro,
yeah, we like that sometimes.
I feel you.
Who I got? OC. Right now, he's dropped music throughout the years, and some very dope music.
Very dope.
The last album he dropped was like in 2018, I think. And he hasn't since. And I mean, he's done. Like, I think people stop checking for certain things, but I mean the trophies joint he did with Apollo Brown, fucking excellent. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you know, like his style of rap, like it hasn't gone out of style, like we said earlier, right? Like certain people like Sauce Money could be on Griselda and fucking get a resurgence just because he could still do that. And I feel like that with OC because he's done concept albums and but they're not like heavy on the concept where you got to try to figure out and match things up. It's like subtle, but it's still a concept. And like I feel like I'm checking for albums all the time because I don't hear or see nothing. And I know those last two albums, which I thought were dope, like he had zero buzz because I didn't see it anywhere else. Like I know I was posting it. I'm pretty sure there's some other fans, but I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he lost a little bit of passion for it, you know, trying to continue. I was surprised he wasn't on the Mass Appeal joint, the Big L joint. Especially how he speaks about Big L all the time. I was hoping, like, I like McGruff being there, but I'm like, damn, no OC. So I don't know what happened. I might just fucking ask him now that I think about it, because again, another nigga who be tweeting like, yo, peace and blessings. Man, fuck that. Nigga, where your album?
Get in the booth.
Grand Rising, y'all. Like, were you going to the studio? Like, nigga, want to hear shit else.
Yo, it's funny you say that, bro, because I was actually talking to my young boy about me and your albums, and I was just saying, you know, I feel like for years it was always like, yo, we gotta make beats, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. But at the end of the day, I feel like you gotta play to pay. You gotta pay to play. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, when we talk about Jay-Z, and I've seen people talk about him in such a great light, as he should, but at the end of the day, Jay-Z was a drug dealer. You know what I mean? And I say it all the time. If Jay-Z worked at UPS, Sean Carter, same skills, maybe his older brother's soul was in the streets, so he's not rhyming from his perspective, but his man's perspective, still has all the skills. But if you working at UPS, nigga, you ain't got money to pay Premier for no fucking beats. You ain't got money to record in D&D. People forget, Jay-Z was fucking, didn't have a deal and was recording with people fucking Premier. You know what I mean? And this ain't now 2026 where fucking, you know, you could buy a Knots track just off of Instagram. I'm like, you couldn't do that shit 20 years ago. Like, you needed a budget to afford these producers. So again, it's like you got to pay to play. And sometimes I think even with an OC, it's like, if you don't have the machine behind you, who's promoting your music? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have the machine behind you, who's distributing your music? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, and I could only imagine, because I feel frustrated by it, where I think me and Vague have an incredible discography, but fucking 80% of the world, 90% of the world probably never ever hear it. Not because it's not dope, but just because we don't have no money behind it to push us. You know what I mean? You could want a Lexus all day until you got Lexus money, nigga. You in that fucking what Freddie Gibbs say? You rather be in that Camry? What you want to be? What was that shit with him and Benny? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to be in this Camry? So at the end of the day, you got to have money. And I think even when you have a rapper of OC's caliber, we love OC, but to the young boys or to somebody new, you know, they don't know. I mean, and again, in doing this research, I'm like, oh shit, you had this many Trey Lee's a prime example. If I'm not cool with Trey, I have no idea about these other 5 albums he dropped. Mm-hmm. None. You know what I mean? Because there's no money behind them. You know, Griselda, love him to death, but niggas gotta go through some shit sometimes to get on. This nigga Conway done got shot in the face, Benny in jail, West on the run. Nigga, I don't want none of that smoke. If I gotta get put on and I gotta be shot or in jail or be on the run, nigga, I'm good. I'll just keep working with kids. I'm good. You know, but a lot of times when you think about these people who do the indie hustle, it's never the nigga who just works the 9 to 5. You know, it's the nigga who's in the streets. It's the nigga. Like Wes said, he started rapping because, yo, I'm in the streets. I'm asking Benny and Conway what they need. I'm getting them their money. Benny get locked up. Conway get shot. Fuck, I got all this studio time and equipment. I might as well start rapping. You know what I mean? So, like, when you think about like that, like, and I think that that's the hard part, because these MCs should be able to make noise. But then again, how do you even promote music anymore? You know, we don't have a 106 in Park. We don't have a Hot 97. We don't have a Strictly Hip Hop 889. We don't have college radio. We don't have radio. Like, all the things that we used to wish to be able to do. In 1995, your probably biggest wish as an MC is, could I get an interview and get my song played on Hot 97? Well, that don't mean shit no more. You know, and then for a while, Vague, you talk about it, the blog era. Yo, if I could get my song on Two Dope Boys, you know, if I could get my song on Nah Right, like, so now I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like, when we first started, Vague, I was like, yo, okay, boom, I gotta try to get us on Nah Right. I gotta try and get us on Two Dope Boys. I gotta try to get us on what was that shit, World Star. You know, I remember reaching out to World Star. They was like, yeah, nigga, if you ain't got 1 million views, nigga, it's like 2,500 for the front page, and we can only guarantee you the front page until more stories come on. So you got a front page at 10 a.m. and by 4 in the afternoon, you on the third page. You know, and who had $2,500 to try to get on the first page for 2 hours? You know what I mean? So again, you got to pay to play. And a lot of times, like whether you're us or whether you're OC or some of these other rappers I'm gonna name, if you don't have the money, you can't play. Like you can want to go to the casino all fucking day, but if you only got $20, nigga, you gonna be in there for 10 minutes. You know what you gonna say, Veg?
I was gonna say like it's a boring answer to us for sure, but it's all about working the algorithm, to be honest, because there are people caking off with TikTok videos. You know what I'm saying? And like the example you made, like what I would have done at that time, just because I'm aware of that whole algorithm shit, but not even algorithm, like peak times. So
Right.
I'll pay for when Two Dope Boys front page gets the most volume of people coming in to look at shit, as opposed to getting on the page. Because then I know, okay, well, I'm maximizing the exposure to my music, and if it dips within that hour, cool. I'm fine, because I was there when everybody was there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's kind of like, unfortunately, you know, especially if you're just an artist promoting your own stuff, that's kind of how you have to think, unfortunately.
Right.
Is like, I got to think about a strategy to get in front of people. And then if I pop, cool. But at least I have the best chance of blowing up, which is corny, because we used to the DJ playing shit, word of mouth, you know what I'm saying? Flex dropping bombs. And
we're from that era that if you make it dope enough, then people will come. Right. But the problem is like you said, here's the thing with the algorithm. I don't understand that shit at all, y'all. I don't know what the shit means. Is it like the Matrix? It's like the shit is like the Wiz to me. Like niggas be like, yo, the algorithm. Somebody hit me with that today about my documentary. They was like, yo, how does this man have 24,000 but only the views? The fucking algorithm. I'm like, yeah, fuck the algorithm. Like, nigga, what's the algorithm? like it's like some secret shit that don't exist. Like it's like, but I feel you, Vegan. It's like you need somebody who understands that. I've never understood that. You know, I'm from that era of, like you said, boom, you pay for the play. Okay, I gotta pay you $500 to get you to play my song on the new Clue tape. Okay, boom. But on the Clue tape, guess what, babe? We spent $1,500. We number 5 on the Clue tape. Guess what? We stay number 5 on the Clue tape. It ain't like, but then in 2 days we end up being number 35 on the Clue. You know what I mean? So I don't understand the new world. And then you have the boys who be like, yeah, for $1,500, I could get your podcast 1 million views. And it's funny, one MC who I was rocking with tried that. They was like, yo, I'm gonna just invest like a couple of hundred. These people are saying they can get more people at it or whatever like that. And it was on SoundCloud. And he hit me like, yo, kill it worked. Yo, our SoundCloud views went from like 500 to like, fucking 8,000. And I'm like, yeah, nigga, probably what happened is you paid them 300. Then they probably went to some buy SoundCloud plays for $10, and all they did was they took your $250, spent $20, pocketed $230, and just paid $20 to get more spins. So it looks like we got more spins. You know what I mean? So, and again, maybe for somebody that's what they need, because again, numbers are what people are looking at. So trust me, there's a million days that I'm on YouTube like, yo, how the fuck does this nigga have 100,000 views and I'm struggling to get 1,500? Now, I mean, he probably paid for them, or maybe I don't know. The moral of the story is I don't understand this shit. And I think most of the rappers who...
I could tell you real quick, right? Because I did it with my channel. So the algorithm is essentially whatever system the platform set up to expose people to content, right? So Facebook, the more active you are, the more your friends see your post, right? It's similar with YouTube, but they kind of have thresholds, right? Like you reach 1,000 subscribers, and now your channel is suggested a little bit more to people who looking for hip hop. And the more you go up, the more you're suggested to more people. So growing it organically, where you're getting people, it's because you know what YouTube's rules are, and you like, I need to get to 1,000, because you know what's going to happen when you get to 1,000. More hip hop heads are going to be like, oh shit, I never saw this show, and it's just a snowball. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the shorts. Right. But there are a lot of people who pay for bots to get to that 1,000 subscribers or whatever, so they can be exposed. So that's all it is. It's like, once you know what each platform, like the thing, like with Twitter, it's easy for you because you tweet a lot. And then the more you gain followers, the more you tweet, the more people see. So it's
here's
just
the wild part. Here's the wild part. And people watching at home, fast forward this part if y'all don't care about this. My bad. But here's the thing that's crazy with Twitter. Because I got suspended twice. So when they were like, you could pay for the blue check mark, I was like, you know what? Maybe if I'm paying, they won't suspend me because they want my money. You know what I mean? I'm like, maybe that was my rationale because mad niggas like, oh, you a corny nigga, you paying for nigga, I got 25,000 followers. I fucking could get rid of half of these motherfuckers anyway. Trust me, I'm not paying to get more people to follow me. I'm fucking about to start paying for people to unfollow me and block me. But the crazy part was there was mad niggas who was like, yo, Kill, we ain't seeing your tweets. Like, yo, where you been? I had niggas DMing me like, yo, man, you all right? Like, I haven't seen you tweet in months. And I'm like, word? Like, because again, I'm thinking since I'm a paying customer now, my shit would, like you said, for YouTube, like I'd be getting suggested because I'm paying you motherfuckers. I would be getting suggested more, but it's almost like then I Googled it and it was like a lot of times people who pay for the blue check mark actually get buried and your content isn't seen. So then I stopped paying for the blue check mark and mad niggas was like, oh, you back. I'm like, nigga, I ain't go no fucking way. You know what I mean? So it's weird because in my mind, 1 + 1 = this is why I can't fuck with this new world because it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 + 1 = 8. And I don't understand it because if I'm paying you, then I'm thinking I would be in front of more people. I'm thinking my tweets would have a bigger reach. And it actually did the opposite to where people were like, yo, we haven't seen a tweet from you in months, which is crazy because like you said, Vig, I tweet every day.
It's
Elon, so it's just...
It's Elon Musk. Right. It's the same reason why niggas we blocked, we still see their tweets. Even though we blocked.
Right.
Yo, that's weird.
And here's the wild part with IG because somebody, I forgot who was saying this, but they were talking about how the crazy thing with IG is that they're only going to let you go but so far because they want you to pay. Like, that's the thing. Like, the whole point is they want you to pay to get your shit in front of people. So it is crazy to me because at the end of the day, they're all kind of based off the same. They may have little differences here and there. It's like fast food. None of this shit is really good for you. You know, maybe Wendy's is a little fresher than a Burger King. You know what I mean? But they kind of all follow the same kind of bullshit rules that they just make up as they go along. You know, because again, I'm old school. Vague, I was spending years getting my Twitter followers because I'm like, yo, if I got 24,000 followers, if I could just get 10% to buy my shit, yo, that's a nice little, following. You know what I mean? I don't know what the fucking money is, but let's add it up real fucking quick. But I'm like, yo, if we selling our album for $10 and we get 2,400 people to buy it, that's 24,000. Probably you take off some taxes and some Bandcamp shit. That's probably a good, maybe at least, I don't know, fucking maybe 10,000 piece me and Vay can split. That shit has never happened. Never. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, so I tried to do it that way. So again, all that to just say, how did this start? Going back to OC, I think that this is the reason why a lot of the old school artists can't really get out there because I don't think they understand the shit either. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe they got a young boy, maybe they got a young boy, or maybe their daughter or somebody understands the game, but it's like, I don't think OC is going to know the algorithm and when's the best time. And then the hard part is now I got to learn the algorithm for Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and IG. And in YouTube, that's 5. Then I got to reply because niggas like, yo, you don't be replying us on YouTube. I'm like, fuck, I got to reply on that too. Okay, cool. Let me take another hour out my day to reply to people on YouTube because y'all feel neglected. So y'all not watching. So it's like, God damn. Like, and I still got to have a full-time job.
Social media's a job, man.
It
right.
is.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, goddamn, to be doing it all and still not be there, that's where, that's the disheartening part. That's the part that just makes me want to say, well, fuck it then. Like, hey, whoever watched 5B, y'all watch it. Y'all don't. I don't know what the fuck else to do because I've tried everything. I got to.
I'll say this. The only 2 platforms where you can kind of do something, like where there aren't tricks to get you to buy something is TikTok and YouTube. Because for one, they make more money than all the other ones. You know what I'm saying? Twitter may be busy, but they're operating at a loss before Elon bought it. But the reason why is because they build it into you engaging your fan base, promoting mad videos. Like the usage is their currency, and they use ads to get money. So if you like, okay, well, I'm gonna do everything I need to do on YouTube, you can get paid. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with TikTok. But that's their currency. Like, we're not gonna make you buy no creator tier or none of that shit. But in order to get paid, you have to reach these things. And you know, sometimes it's tricky also, but yeah, you just gotta be with it. Like you said, Kill, you got a whole family and fucking job. Like, you ain't got no time.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. OC is a good pull. Sorry for everybody watching. Little tangent right there. The next up, I got Nice and Smooth. First heard them on Big Daddy Kane. Pimpin' Ain't Easy. I heard them. I was like, yo, who the fuck are these two niggas? Of course, the debut comes out. Me and Spence was talking about maybe 2 weeks ago on the show that No Delaying, you know, what was it? Early to Rise, you know, Funky for You. Like, all them joints was crazy. Then they had Ain't a Damn Thing Change, which most people know them for from Hip Hop Junkies. Again, I hate when places be like, oh yeah, their one hit wonder all they had was Hip Hop Junkies. I'm like, shit drives me crazy. They had Jewel the Nile in 94 and then Blazing Hot in 97. And then they just disappeared. And you know, Greg Nice will pop up from time to time. He's been on what is that? Killer Mike and LP. What's their shit called?
Ooh La Wee Wee, John.
The name of the group.
Run the Jewels.
Run the Jewels. He was on the Ooh La La. So I feel like Greg Nice will pop up here and there. I know he's on that joint on like Rock the Bells where they do samples and things like that. But I mean, as far as music, haven't heard from them. Another one real quick, since I spent all that time with that, Mike Geronimo. This was my shit right here, man. I love The Natural, man. And then they came with Making Moves with Puff, and then it just went all downhill for that nigga.
Boy Puff, man.
The hard part was in 97. It was almost like if you wanted to eat, you had to come see Puff. And see, that's where I think a part of that the guy complex was there way before, especially after watching that documentary. But it's kind of like to go from this, and I think 97, 98 was such a fucked up year because I'm living in Atlanta. It's the first time not being at the radio station, so I'm having to pay for music. And I remember buying The Rude Awakening by Smith & Wesson and being disappointed. I remember buying Mike Geronimo's Vendetta and being disappointed. I remember buying Jay-Z's second album. It's a half and half album. Half of it had me disappointed. And it kind of was just like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, all these sophomore albums that are coming out during this 97, 98 year, these MCs aren't doing what they did on their last album. But I kind of looked at that as like the bad boy phenomenon. It kind of was like the way radio was shifting, the way people were programming the music. And Veg, this is a great point. We talk about algorithms. It kind of goes back to radio programming. You know what I'm saying? So somebody who was making, you know, a boom bap album, now the radio program is like, nah, we don't want that. We don't play that no more. And it's like, well, fuck, I just spent $300,000 on the album and I owe the label. So now you either got to go back to the label and ask for more money. So now you more in debt because your old album ain't going to work with the algorithm now. So it's just crazy. But yeah, this Mike Geronimo I thought was going to be crazy. And it wasn't. The only joint on this, salute to Pete Rock, Unstoppable. Pete saved a couple of niggas because the same thing with Raising Mobilarity. The only shit that's banging on there is Sneakers. That's Pete Rock again, you know, so Pete was saving niggas. On the R&B tip, I'm sure y'all remember this shorty, Truth Hurts. The joint she had with Rakim, the addictive joint. A lot of people didn't hear the album. Truthfully speaking, I like the album. Very dope album. Has a banging ass slow jam on there called Do Me. I think High Tech had 2 or 3 beats on there. Dope album, but then she just disappeared. You know, and I mean, Addictive was everywhere. Like, that shit was on the radio 24. My pop knew the record, so that tells you how much this joint was on the radio, like, type thing. So that's what I got up next. Wes, who you got up next, bro?
Hey, yo, before I get into this real quick, yo, Kill, you wasn't messing with Jay-Z's second album?
I was messing with it on a half and half because you put it on, you hear A Million and One Questions and Rhyme No More, and I'm like, goddamn. Then I hear The City Is Mine with Blackstreet, which I think is one of the worst songs ever in history of music. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Then I hear I Think I Know What Girls Like, and I'm probably saying these in the wrong order. And I'm like, this is some bullshit. But then I heard Imaginary Players, and I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Then I hear Streets is Watching, this is crazy. I hear Friend or Foe Part 2, this is crazy. And I hear something else that's like Sunshine with Babyface and Foxy Brown. I'm like, now there's some bullshit. Then I go back to the joint with him and Sauce Money. I'm like, this shit is incredible. Then I hear Rap Game, Crack Game, this is incredible. Then some other bullshit. Then I hear fucking Where I'm From, which to me is the greatest song ever explained in the hood. So it's just like, I call it a half and half album. But when I'm coming off of Reasonable Doubt, I'm not expecting to hear Blackstreet. I'm not expecting to hear Babyface and Foxy Brown. I'm not expecting to hear What Girls Like with Lil' Kim.
Oh, okay.
That's not what was coming out. I'll never forget, I forgot my man's name who worked at Def Jam. We were in Philly, and he was like, yo, here's the new Jay-Z single with Ja Rule. Bro, I could not wait to get home, like to hear it. At the time, I didn't even have a CD player in the whip because it's like still like 96, 97. And I get home and I hear, can I get a what? And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? This is not what I was expecting to hear. Now, of course, can I get a what? Club banger, classic song, all those things. But for 1997, Kill, hosting Strictly Hip Hop, Boom Bap or Death, expecting to hear, In My Lifetime, something crazy, and I hear, can I get a what? I mean, the beat itself was like, yo, what the fuck is this beat? Like, people don't remember, like, those type beats weren't being made, in 96. So it literally was like, yo, what is this? And it wasn't what is this in a good way. Like, when I heard One in a Million by Aaliyah, it was like, yo, what the fuck is this in a good way? When I heard Can I Get a What, it was like, what the fuck is this in a very, very bad way? So it kind of was just, but again, this is how radio was changing. And I think at 97, and I mean, Dame was saying this, Oshino was saying this, like, Jay is going to jump on what's ever dope. You know what I mean? So word, like, X is really popping. Let me spend some more time up on the Rough Riders floor. That's really popping over there with Herb and Jai, like, that's popping. Because to me, when I hear Can I Get a What, I think it's a Jay song. I forget it's a Ja Rule song. Featuring Jay-Z.
Yeah, it's a Ja Rule song, and then somehow he ended up giving it to Jay-Z. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he gave it to him, but it's like,
so
nigga,
I see what you're saying now.
But it's just that it was a half and half. And Jay talks about that he was trying to learn how to make songs for the radio, and that he didn't feel like he perfected it until that shit with Jermaine Dupri, Money Ain't a Thing. So everybody was trying to figure out how do we do this Biggie formula? How does Big do it where he does a hip hop song and the hood loves him, but then he does a One More Chance and all the women love him? And how do you do that? So it's kind of like you got to fuck up for a while. Like if you trying to learn how to make sweet potato pie and you don't got no recipe, you gonna fuck it up a couple of times until you be like, oh, okay, boom, now we right. So for Jay's third album, Hard Knock Life, he's like, now I perfected it. Now I got the right recipe for how to do this. But in the beginning, it was kind of like, but hey, I appreciate him giving me half because there are some great Jay-Z, some of my favorite Jay-Z verses on that album. Some of my favorite Jay-Z songs are on that album. Some of my favorite Jay-Z quotes are on that album. So I'm just happy he at least gave the boom bappers and the backpackers or whatever you want to call. What do Easy call me? I'm the president
boom
of the Boom Bap Avengers. Yeah, I'm glad he gave me, something. Because when I heard The City Is Mine, I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And then I was offended too because I almost felt like, is this a shot at Big? Like The City Is Mine, like Big is gone, so now it's mine. So again, it was like a little, but I like the album, but the shits I like, I love. The shits I don't like, I hate. Like, it's like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Nah, it makes perfect sense when you break it down, like how rap had one style, now it's slowly transitioning to something else, and now you got a bunch of people kind of caught in between trying to figure out what to do. Now I see your point of view here, like, oh, okay, now I can see why it sounded like this, because Volume 2 is like my main introduction to Jay-Z.
Right. And see, that's the thing. This is why age always plays a factor. Like, people think I shit on people for age. It's not a shit. It's just you see things different from different viewpoints. Like, I have a friend who was like, yo, Tikal's a 5 Mic classic. Nigga, how old was you when it came out? 11. Nigga, I was 21. It was not a 5 Mic classic in these streets when it came out. Now, as a 12-year-old kid, you're not on a college campus. You're not working at the radio station. You're probably, if you're at 12, you're in 7th grade. Like y'all not thinking really big picture, but it was not a classic. Like when they was doing the whole Month of the Man promotion and Redman's There Is a Dark Side and Memphis to Cal. It was a letdown. Now, what's happening is now years later, everybody wants to come back and be like, I feel like they're like, how they or Spence, how they would do when they would remaster the album. I feel like that's what happens on social media. It's like the album gets remastered 20 years later. It's like, hey, I listened to Cal today and it is a 5 mic classic. No, it's not, nigga. It wasn't. Nothing changed.
You wasn't there. You wasn't outside when it dropped.
That wasn't there saying it too.
But no, the people who wasn't there.
The people who wasn't there are the ones that saying, "No, this is a 5 mic." Like you wasn't outside or you wasn't out when this came out. It didn't hit that way.
Right. And the problem is even in saying that, because it's been do or die this week. That's been the timeline thing. When I was out, I didn't know anybody saying Do or Die was a 5 mic classic album. I heard a lot of people saying it's a great album, and it's a very good album, The Source gave it 4 mics. I'd agree with 4. Niggas like, nah, it's fine. And I'm like, yo, when did 4 mics become bad? Like, that's a B, nigga. Like, who's mad if their kid gets a B? Like, only now is it A or failure. Like, there's nothing else. Yeah. Like, and I try to explain to young niggas who used to run up in The Source and beat niggas the fuck up if the mic rating wasn't good enough. Okay? Nobody was running up in The Source for 4 mics to beat up.
Yo, get out of here.
Yeah, they used to run up in The Source. Yo, in the 90s, magazines used to have the Fruit of Islam doing security for them. Because niggas would come up in there. You saw in Straight Outta Compton when Ice Cube went in there, went up the Priority with a baseball bat and started breaking all the plaques on the wall. Like, that shit would happen because The Source was so important. If The Source gave you 3 mics, nigga, that could end your careir. Like, that's how influential The Source was. So if you may not go by the album. So again, if you gave me, what did they give Smith and Wesson? 3.5 or 3 or 3.5? And I remember being at Morgan like, yo, what the fuck? This is a 5 mic album. What y'all talking about? A 3? And vague. That was the time that I started reading who did this review. That was the first time, and I'm like, I ain't listening to shit this nigga say ever again. Because back in the day, it was just like, oh, whoever reviewed it. But I'm like, oh, John Elliott? Oh, fuck you, nigga. You think this is 3.5? Oh, that's dead. So people would go up into The Source because it's like, you fucking with my livelihood. It's almost like a reference. Imagine if you trying to come work at my teen center and they gives you a horrible reference. And I'm like, yo, you don't get the job, Wes. You'd be like, yo, what happened? Yo, your references. Now you got beef with Vague. Like, yo, what the fuck? You got me from getting the job, nigga. Like, that's how much The Source and people, but then the flip is like niggas online, like, yeah, 4 mics is, I don't even need to hear it. If The Source gave it 4 mics, I'm gonna go buy it. Like, yeah, like that. Like somebody said today, that's like, yo, if it said 4 mics, I'm at Crazy Eddie's. I'm like, yo, I ain't heard Crazy Eddie's name in like fucking 30 years. That's right, Crazy Eddie's. Right. Right? But like, that's how influential The Source was. That if it said 4 mics, you're good to go. And only now in 2026 is 4 mics like trash. Like, I'm like, yo, it's a 4 mic album. No, it's not. It's a classic album. I bet you can't even recite an AZ verse. And I'm like, God damn, y'all. Like, I can't even have a mature conversation. This motherfucker really told me. I know, it's my fault. I log into a virtual crack house every day. It's all on me. So I get it. But yeah, The Source was that important. All of them were, but The Source especially. So yeah, it was. But who you got, Wes?
Oh yeah. Before we get to that, this is why I say, man, I love getting hip hop takes from you, bro, because it's like you get to learn so much because you were actually outside when shit happened, man. So you can say, hey, man, nah, y'all tripping over here. You wasn't outside. It wasn't hitting like that. So hey, that's why I mess with you, man, because it's the hip hop insight that we get, man, from somebody who really was the outside active in these streets, man. Because like you say, people get online, they get the wolfing 10, 20 years later. Like, bro, we were not bumping that album when it came out. Why we lying?
Right.
So I just wanted to say, man, I love your takes. Even if I don't agree with them, man, I can appreciate and understand where it's coming from. So
no, I appreciate it. And it's the same love back. I tell people all the time, I never shit on anybody. I need younger energy. I need y'all help me understand shit. So it's never this just shut up and listen to me. It's like, nah, let's learn from each other. But at the same token, I got no problem shutting up if you want to teach me about the algorithm. I got no problem shutting the fuck up. I feel the problem with a lot of young boys is the difference is, for instance, somebody will go listen to Illmatic and then want to debate it with me. And it's like, nigga, why don't you ask me about it? You know what I mean? Before coming to debate, great example, when the Temptation movies came out, I watched it and I called my mom like every night, like, yo, is that true? Is that what happened with David? Is that? I didn't call my mom like, yeah, I bet you didn't know that David Ruffin did. Like, yo, ask some questions. Like, yo, I wasn't there. It's like, yo, I saw the movie and I got questions. And I feel like that's what a lot of young boys don't do. They'll see the movie, they'll read the book, they'll watch the interview, and then they want to get online and debate with niggas who was outside. And it's like, yo, keep getting more knowledge. Like, that's dope that you read the book, dope that you saw the movie. You know what should be up next? Find somebody who was outside and ask them. And like I tell people all the time, just like a pastor, you ain't got to join my church. You ain't got to listen to me. Vegas is a hip hop guru. Spence knows what the fuck is going on. There's Hunt Tone from Into the Dome. There's so many dope people. Find your church. It don't got to be me. It don't got to be 5B, but find somebody that when you have a question, you know you can go to get the right advice. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I mean, I just want you to know that the respect is mutual, bro. So it's not just the old young people shut up and listen to us. Nah, I want to shut up and listen to y'all because I still got a lot to learn. So I appreciate it.
Bet that. So my last pick here, man. Listen, like you had to be outside to know this one. It is going to be the Shop Boys, Rockstar Mentality, man. And there's kind of a one-off group, like, you know, they had a one hit, probably like a Rockstar, and it just disappeared. But the thing that I loved about them is that when they dropped that song, they didn't sound like nobody on the radio, man. That shit came way out of left field. Like, yo, who are these cats? And yo, it caught fire, you know what I mean? And then I don't know what happened with them. You know, maybe there's something label or some other stuff. Man, they just never did anything again with that. And I think, you know, kind of looking back on the history of when this song dropped and where we at right now, I think they suffer from, they were a little too ahead of their time. I think if they would have dropped like maybe like, like they dropped like maybe 6-7 years ago. Oh man,
what year did they drop?
That was like 07, 08.
Okay.
Yeah, so like that Rockstar shit hadn't really caught on yet. They were super early. Like the Rockstar stuff didn't really start popping off to maybe like 2013, like when Wayne dropped the Rebirth album. Then everybody kind of started getting into that rock mode. But with them, they were super ahead of their time. And I think, like I said, it's just one of those groups where the music was fantastic. It was dope. It was just too early for people to really appreciate, man. And yeah, if they just drop right now, oh man, they would be on fire. Yeah. I love it. Like I said, like it was just one of those things. Like they don't sound like nobody else, and that's one of the things I do kind of miss about hip hop. It's like, you know, I think so many people get caught in trying to sound like, you know, their favorite artist or maybe was hot at the time, that they don't want to just do them and let the chips fall where they fall. So yeah, that part like a rock star, man. I played that shit out everywhere, man. My grandma knew the words, man. I'm playing this so much.
You know, the wild part is too, bro, is that like you said, sometimes it is timing. Like, y'all remember when Big Daddy Kane was in the Don't Curse video with the silk shirt on with the champagne, and we was like, yo, what the fuck wrong with this nigga? But then fast forward 5 years and Jay-Z on a boat with a silk shirt and a bottle of champagne is the shit. You know, and I know Kane was like, yo, I did that shit. Like, y'all laughed at me. Like, y'all told me I was whack. Like, yeah, I already did that. Like, so it could be, I mean, bro, it's so much. And I mean, I think so much of this does go back to, at the end of the day, labels, you know, and does the label like what you put together? Does the label agree with you now? You know, like with the Pete Rock situation, did the president of the label leave and now a new president is there? And, you know, so many times with labels, if I'm the A&R and I sign Vague to Def Jam, but then I leave and Wes, you come in and you younger than me, you may be like, I don't want this old nigga Vague here. So like Vague said, now he just sits on the shelf, you know, if he can't buy his way out the deal. So it's kind of hard to, yeah, I just think labels play such a huge part in people disappearing, putting a bad taste in people's mouth where they just don't even want to be in the game no more. Where it's like, I just don't even want to be part of that industry. Because even when talking about ghostwriting on the timeline, this one shorty was like, you know, it's the music industry. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. It's the culture and it's the music industry. And it's like my pastor taught me, if you take iced tea and lemonade and you pour it together to make a half and half, you can't go back in and get your lemonade out. It's mixed. It's together. And once you sign that record deal, you've taken the hip hop culture and meshed it with the machine. You know, you can't go back in and get that out no more. You know what I mean? So if the label says, yo, your rhymes ain't good, you got to get a ghostwriter. Well, the fuck, you got to get a ghostwriter because that's what the label wants. You know, in the book, Check the Technique, they were talking about Rakim. I think they were talking about MC Search ghostwriting for Rakim. Like, I always call him Liar. That's fucking Chuck D and me. Liar, what is it? Lear Cohen? Lear Cohen?
What exactly you talking about, Leor?
But Chuck calls him Liar Cohen so much that it's just like, yeah, Liar Cohen. It's like Lear Cohen had said something to Search, like, yeah, we may need you to write some rhymes for Rakim. And Rakim's like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, MC Search writing for me? Like, nigga.
That's crazy.
Like, so, but this is what your label head is saying. You know, behind Rakim's back, Lear Cohen is going to MC Search of all fucking people. Of all the people you got on this label, you on MC Search to write for Rakim. And Rakim don't know nothing about it. So it's like, those are like, once, like, the music industry can really, and I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to where people are like right there at the precipice of we're about to blow up, and it literally, everything falls out from under you. Like, everything. Like, it's almost like, yo, I'm about to go to the league. I'm about to get signed with an agent, and something just happens. And it's like, you know what? I don't even want to play ball no more. I don't even want to. It don't do nothing for me no more because of all the bullshit that I'm going through. Spence, what you got up next, bro?
I got a couple, and then I still got a whole list too. So would you want me to say?
Yeah, we can we can say the list for after this round, and then we can just run them down.
I got this boy from out of Massachusetts. He came out with Scientific. Came out in like '94. Dope boy.
What's his name?
Scientific.
Oh, science. Oh, yeah. Scientific. I thought you said I was Scientific. Yeah,
he came out in '94. He had production by Buck Wild, RZA, Diamond D. Dope album. He came up with that album, then nothing else, and I think he wound up dying in a car accident. Then they tried to say he might have committed suicide with him and his lady. So it was like a whole like story like years later behind it. But he dropped this one album.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he dropped this one album and then nothing really else that I heard of anyway. So I know E's probably know the whole story though. But,
right.
This is a dope album, but I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah, I gotta look up that whole. I didn't know he died. Like, I need to look that up.
Yeah.
All right. And Vague, what you got for your last one, and then we could run down any extras.
Last one. I think his situation was complicated, and maybe he dropped stuff, but maybe it just didn't meet the expectations for what I thought was going to happen. And that's Cuban Link from Terror Squad, because I remember when. You know, Fat Joe, obviously, he introduced Big Pun, and then he's like, yo, I got a crew, Terror Squad. And so when I guess I heard the first, like, posse cut to hear the other dudes, I'm like, oh, it's just a bunch of Spanish niggas rapping, right? Which I was just like, I'm not impressed. But, and my brown people know what it is. I'm from New York. They say nigga, we don't flinch. But I remember hearing Cuban Link, and I was like, he's nice. Like, I like him. Like it was his delivery and all of that. So I thought it was like Pun, you know, Remy, and then him. And I was anticipating this album. And I think he did drop, but I think it was like too late, and they were trying to make him something that he really wasn't. You could tell he was like a spitter. You know what I'm saying? Like Pun. But they were trying, because of the success of Pun, and even a little bit of success Remy saw, they was like, nah, we need club joints, we need like records. It became more business than when they just let him spit on like the posse cuts. And then, you know, all the beef and all that shit got in the way, and you know, now I don't even care. You know, I'd rather hear him talk shit about Fat Joe than rap, because it's so interesting. Because he be telling mad stories. I'm like, that shit sounds true. Like fights and all kinds of shit. I'm like, yeah, that's what niggas say when it really happened. But it's unfortunate because at the time I'm hearing him and I'm like, I'm not really interested in the crew. But man, when that dude dropped, I'm gonna get that because I thought he was dope, and it just never materialized into at least what I thought it was going to be. So
Right. And it's funny because, man, again, that's another crew that I felt like the members never blew up, you
right.
know. And I'm always wondering, like, with Cuban, do you think he had it to make a whole album? Like, you know, because when we hear people on posse cuts or we hear them on the compilation albums, like it sounds dope. But do you think not Cube, but Cuban Links had what it took to make a whole album?
I think so because one of the things that we kind of learned early on, even though it wasn't like highly publicized, but it kind of was, is he was doing a lot of ghostwriting for Fat Joe also. So like a Max B type situation where like,
Right.
that's the sauce. He just giving it to him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he definitely had the skills as far as like his delivery and all of that to make those same records himself. But I think what happened to him was really what happened to Remy originally was that these were Pun's people, not Fat Joe people. So when Pun passed away, now your fate is in the hands of Fat Joe, and he's picking Remy because she a female, you know what I'm saying, and she ill. And then he just has this situation with the other guys, and it just never materialized. But unfortunately, the guy who kind of brought him in was the one that passed away. So,
right. That's crazy. And then sometimes I wonder, with a nigga like Fat Joe, I was watching, I don't know if y'all ever seen this guy, Spank. He is down with Kevin Hart, him and the
From
boy. Philly. Yeah, I forgot the basketball player's name, but they got a podcast together. He used to hoop for the Sixers. Yeah, Lou Williams, Lemon Pepper Lou. And Kevin Hart was on it, but they were talking about how sometimes a comedian will get the people in his crew or the people who open for him, he wants them to be whack so that when he comes on stage, it like makes him look even better versus it being like, oh, these opening comedians are dope too. That makes me doper. Like Spank was just saying, like with Kev, he wanted people who were really, really funny to open for him because it pushed him to be better. And I just wonder, like, if Fat Joe or just certain niggas was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna keep you over there. You dope, but you actually doper than me, my nigga. So I can't put you out and promote this album and you're actually better than me. You know what I mean? Like there are those personalities too. What you gonna say, Spence?
Yeah, I know. I think, far as Cuban Link, I think he did have the ability to write the girl songs. You know, he can spit like him and Big Pun going on toe to toe over the Mob beat and the Roots clone beat going back and forth. That joint is crazy. So I think he had the ability. Like Vig said, unfortunately, Pun passed. Then everything else kind of just fell apart a little bit.
It's so crazy how that happens because it's similar to what when Scott LaRock died. And D Nice was like, yeah, after Scott died, because Scott brought him into the mix. After Scott died, KRS was like, nigga, carry the bags. like there was like, because you were Scott's man, and I ain't fuck with you really like that. And Scott ain't here, so I mean, I'll keep you in the crew because you Scott man, but yeah, nigga, go get them bags type shit.
And I never thought mad at D Nice too.
Right. I mean, shit. I didn't know. I mean, I'm a shorty, and I was like, fuck D Nice for years. Because again, I'm just like, yo, Scott died because you and some chick. As a 12-year-old kid, I'm like, fuck D Nice. Like, you got Scott LaRock killed type thing. You know what I mean? So I could only imagine what KRS was, feeling and actually going through it. The only people I had left was Bahamadia. She dropped the Collage joint in 96, the BB Queen in 2000. Then she had something else in 2005, but just disappeared. Was supposed to be one of the next dope MCs, was not with the Gangstar Foundation, but was down with Guru. Had Primo, I think Primo did 3 beats on the first album. I think Ski did 2, and then kind of just disappeared. I got these dudes right here who will always hold a special place in my heart. The Cellar Dwellers. They were my first interview at 889. I'll never forget. I'm in class, and Ray pages me And for people watching, this is back before cell phones. We had pagers, and he paged me, and I go to the radio station. He's like, "Yo, you got an interview." Like, this is when I said, "Fuck school." I'm at the radio station 24/7. Like, I'm leaving class. Like, where we got an interview, I'm out. So Cellar Dwellers, Advance the Boardwalk. What was the joint on here? Recognize and Realize, the Perfect Combination joint on here. But then, yeah. Not to mention, everybody in the video was straight low life for death in that video. So many dope low pieces. It's crazy. So check that out. And then Spence, kind of coming off your scientific, Crumb Snatcher was definitely down with the Gangstar Foundation. Had the song Close to the God, which was my shit. Then kind of just disappeared. You know what I mean? So, you know, one of my favorite lines, because y'all don't want to see Crumb dumb out. That was off of the Owners album. So kind of just disappeared. So that's why I have left. You got anybody else left, 94?
Yeah, I got Rod Digger, another Flip Mode veteran. Got one album out now. Her situation, from what I've read and heard, she had a falling out with Clive Davis. And, you know, you have an issue with certain people, man. They can have that ability to kind of F your career up, man. And so she put out music with a couple of Jersey people for sure, but as far as on a national mainstream level, she ain't put out nothing. And then my other one is Chameleonaire. Like, everybody, like, we knew Chameleonaire before.
I ain't heard that name in years. Chameleonaire.
I got something to tell, man. Listen, when we got his deal, we all knew, like, yo, the rap game got a problem. Chameleonaire coming through, y'all ain't gonna eat, man. He's fucking the game up, because Cam can spit, bro. Like, I put that on money. I think Chameleonaire is probably the hardest Houston rapper ever. I put him up there with it. So, you know, he put out a couple of albums. The second one didn't do too good. You know, knowing his story, man, he ended up eventually getting into investing in tech. So now that's what he does. He put out a couple of mixtapes after the Warner deal and shit, but, you know, it was never anything of that commercial success of, you know, Riding Dirty from the Sound of Revenge.
Right. Yo, I don't know if you ever heard this joint, this Rod Digger joint, classic. This joint right here. Check this. If you haven't heard it, check it out. Knots produced it. Crazy beats, crazy rhymes. But like you said, nothing on a national level. And I never want to say like too little too late, because to me, if the head's out there, but it's little too late for her to be on the national level now. Now it's kind of like, this was just like for the heads. This is the album we wanted. But like you said, if you beefing with Clive Davis, nigga, you ain't. We talking about Puff and fucking, you know, Jay-Z snapping the finger like Thanos, like, nigga, that's Clive Davis. Like, so if you beefing with Clive, you are definitely beefing with the wrong nigga. Like, so that's a great point.
She said some rhymes about him. She said that shit bold as hell. I was like, that's how I knew the game was like, oh, there's some weird stuff happening. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, what the hell's going on? But yeah, Rod Digger was the one that kind of, you know, put that out there like, hey, that nigga ain't right. I'm like, oh, shit. Right. Now I was like, oh, why she ain't out no more? Now I kind of see why, learning who he is. So. But
right,
you know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta stand 10 toes on how you feel, man. So for her to even say that shit, I salute her, man. Like, most people would have been like, you know, I mean, I ain't gonna say that, but she, you know, she felt how she felt, said what she said, stood 10 toes on it. Hey, man, nothing but salute to that.
Yeah, no doubt. Spence, who you got left up for your list, bro?
Smooth the Hustler.
Cool.
Trigger the Gambler, his brother, by the way. Both of them, actually. Dope. I think he dropped one album, and then that was it, pretty much.
I think, and then Triggers got shelved. And when I've recently just heard it, probably like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's a real dope album, especially if it would have came out at that time. But what we talking about earlier, label shelving albums, like, you know,
The Boss. I mean, she passed away. Remember that?
Right.
Oh man,
Deeper. Oh my. Yo, Deeper is still one of my favorite cuts ever, man. Whew.
She dropped that one crazy. Album. That was it.
Deeper.
Prince Poe from Organized Confusion. I think he dropped a couple albums, and then that was pretty much it. And he actually did an interview on Public Enemy's Channel Zero YouTube channel. So he talks a little bit about stuff, but for the most part, that's it.
Yeah, the crazy thing is Organized had a joint on this Marco Polo album that was fucking crazy.
Yeah,
like I really thought
back. Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, yo, if this is what we get from Organized, I'm all here for it. And then nothing really popped. And I mean, Poe has been on the show before, real cool dude. But yeah, I don't know what happened and it's hard. It's got to be hard when you're in these crews and somebody is always more successful than the other one. You know what I mean? Like with Key and Pill, it's like, Key is like out there, but it's like Jordan Peele made Get Out, my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? So it's always like, yeah, I see you in the movies and not the cartoons, the commercials, but, like, they're just always like Jay and Dame. Like, I feel like when do two people break up and both people are successful? Like, does that ever happen?
Shit. Yeah, I'm at the.
It's like even with
stay together, you aren't as successful as you would have been if one blew up, went in
right.
one direction.
Because I feel like even with what's my people's Good Burger, Keenan and Kel, like
Keenan and Kel.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Keenan and Kel, like every Kel over. You know what I mean? Like Nate used to love the show. I forgot the name. Shake It Up Chicago. Only if you had a girl would you probably know the show. But it's where Zendaya got her start. And it was like Zendaya and this other girl, and Zendaya is Zendaya, and the other girl is like acting in B movies. So I'm just like, because you got Pharoah Monch who's here, but then you got Prince Poe, who nobody during the Organized days were ever like, oh my God, Monch is so much doper than Poe. In fact, I don't know if I've ever heard, bro. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody even. That's one argument I've never heard, like who's better, because they kind of were always right there. But then, of course, Monch comes out with Simon Says and goes on to have his career. And like you said, Poe dropped some joints, but it just never was there. So,
Pharoah has a little more style and charisma, I think, too. Maybe that helped him stand out. So that's right.
No, that's a good point. That was it for you, Spence?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, Veg, who else you got left, bro?
I only have a few. They didn't really two of them didn't really drop off the face of the earth, but I always wonder why they stopped making albums like Naughty by Nature. Like I know like early on is when they had most of their success, but they had a couple of hits later on and maybe the albums weren't that great. But ability, Tretch still has it. Like there's a video of him spitting. You know what I'm saying? That I saw like a month or so ago, and I'm like, damn, Tretch could still put something out. You know what I'm saying? Because he still sounds dope. But I know they had a lot of issues with each other, and now they kind of come together to perform mostly. Because one time I was in the airport out here in Jersey, and I saw Benny, and the nigga didn't even look real. Because you know how some people look human, like some celebrities look human when you see him, like, oh, you look like a regular nigga. No, this nigga looked like how you imagine him on the video. He looked like the Thing from fucking Fantastic Four and shit. That's his name, right? Rock. In it, but he's just as stocky and like he's everything you think he is by looking at the video. Whereas Tretch looks thinner, you know what I'm saying? So
okay.
But I kind of could see that there was some label stuff. There was some group infighting where they didn't really mess with each other. They're supposed to be on Drink Champs, I think, this week.
Oh, all three of them together?
KG.
Oh, that's dope.
Which should be
that's gonna be dope.
Considering everything. Who else did I have? I mentioned him before. Cardan, right? He was the little homie.
Cardan.
The Children of the Corn. And there were
from Harlem.
he would freestyle, and I was like, besides Big L, he's the nicest one. Because Shorty was dumb. He was like 16, and he was dumb nice. Not one album, nothing. Just freestyles. But Yeah, Cardan was, and I heard him like a couple years ago, and he was still nasty with it. I'm like, man, this nigga probably the nicest nigga in Target right now. Like nigga, this is sour, but I'll battle you niggas. The last one I had on the R&B side, and I kind of know why, and it's not like he had one album, but it's Maxwell, right? Mm-hmm. He probably has 4 straight bangers, if not 5, and then his last joint was like, man. Then he tried to drop singles here and there. One single was so terrible. I was just like, this is the worst song I ever heard in my life. Like, this nigga singing about
I know what joint you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about? The water shit.
This nigga wrote a song about water? Like, but I was kind of, as a fan, I'm just like, yo, when the album come in, blah, blah, blah. And I knew he was going through some label stuff. But then he was able to get to buy his masters. And then he dropped another whack record with a video. But then, fast forward, he did the Al Green shit. And knowing that he owns his masters, it was like, okay, I think he getting right. But then nothing happened.
Yeah, because, Ray, you got a great point. Because the whole Black Summer Nights was supposed to be
a trilogy.
The album.
Right?
Like, yeah, so... The first joint came out in 2009. The next one is 2016. And that was 10 years ago. So it's like, how did we, even going from 2009 to 2016 is still a grip of time. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like you said, that album was, the first joint to me is a 5 Mic classic. I love that joint. I love that off rip. The second one, like you said, it had some joints, but it's like, then it just nothing. Yeah. And then, like you said, he popped up with the Al Green joint, which was hard. I like the joint, but it's just like, well, nigga, where's the album though? You know what I mean? So
yeah, he's one of the most frustrating artists that I like because you follow these guys on social media, especially when it's them, like posting and stuff like that.
Right.
And this nigga I got an announcement, y'all. And he's like, oh, the 30th anniversary of my first album. And then the vinyl is just black. I'm like, nigga, you're not even getting colors.
Right.
Right. New album. Okay? Like, I got that shit already. Like,
right. Veg, one thing you was talking about when you were talking about Cardan, something I thought about. I wonder if these niggas are ever on a Pee Wee Kirkland joint. And what I mean by that is for people who may not know, the Chicago Bulls were going to draft Pee Wee Kirkland, who's a New York City playground legend. But Pee Wee was like, nigga, I make more money in these streets than playing for the Chicago Bulls. So now I'm a pass type thing. So some of these people, like when you said Cardan, I'm like, yo, maybe these niggas was just making so much money in the street. Because keep in mind, there's always the perception of these drug dealers want to stop selling drugs and start rapping. Or you may just be an Avon Barksdale nigga like, I want my corners. Like, this rap shit is just some shit that I can do. Cam and them my niggas, L is my nigga, but nigga, y'all niggas is broke. I'm out here getting more money on these corners than y'all is going on tour. So I wonder if that's ever played a part for some of these people who, we're like, yo, we heard the freestyle or we heard you on such album. And they like, yeah, I don't even want to deal, my nigga. Like, I've always been interested in knowing like, and not on no fucking camera type shit, but like on some Jay-Z, Tata, just sitting around like, Jay, what really made you want to get out the game? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what made you want to get out the game and really go hard on this music? Because again, that shit sounds crazy to me that a nigga in the 70s could say, I make more money in these streets than the NBA could pay me. And I mean, again, this is the 70s, so we ain't talking to 30, 40 million that these niggas is getting now for being the 6th, 7th, 8th man on the fucking bench. You getting crazy money. I'll never forget, I knew it was bad when Tim Hardaway Jr. in one contract made more money than his father made in his whole career.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right there.
That was crazy.
That right there is crazy. And you ain't even half of the fucking player your father was, my nigga. You know what I mean? So we're not talking, but just even to be able to say in the 70s, like, nah, I'm good. I don't want no NBA contract. I make too much money out here. So I'm just wondering if, because again, I'm sure what makes on bad, but well, here's the thing. We never know what people make because we don't know what's rented. We don't know what, we don't know any of that. So you know, some of these dudes may be like, I ain't getting in that rap game. Fuck that shit. And because here's the wild part, I forgot what book I was reading, but they were talking about how drug dealers, and this was specifically to New York, that the drug dealers were pissed off at some of the rappers and were robbing rappers because it's like, y'all think y'all us. Y'all not us, my nigga. Y'all ain't pulling up in Harlem like we pull up every day in Harlem. Y'all niggas is food to us. So it's almost like, you know, I don't know, maybe Rich Porter could rhyme, but it's like, nigga, I make fucking $1 million a day in Harlem. Fuck, I look like going on tour, nigga. Like, fuck is you talking about? Like, yeah, I'll jump on your mixtape real quick and spit a bar, but nigga, what you gonna say, babe?
Those niggas had an album though.
I'm sorry, who?
AZ.
Yeah.
I think
They did?
Yeah, they had an album back then. Shit was whack.
Yo.
My man from the Bronx, everybody like, yo, this ain't me. I'm like, nah, this ain't it. I'm sorry. It's dope because you know they mean that shit, but
right.
It wasn't as bad as Eazy-E, but at the same time, it wasn't nothing special as you would think. But I just wanted to say, like, with somebody like Hard Dan, and I don't even know the history, but I can't think of a song he wrote. And that's a prerequisite to being a recording artist, right? Like, Shorty got verses and freestyles and shit, but now we need something we can go to a record label and say, this is his song. And either he didn't care about that, or wasn't, you know, into it that much, or it just wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Sometimes, like you said, sometimes niggas is just nice in Rucker Park. Like, that's it. You know?
Yeah, like, nigga, I don't want to go. Now, I think people will want to go to the NBA now because you can get $30 million for being like the 8th player on the bench. So I can't see no playground nigga saying, nah, I don't want to go to the NBA. I'm getting more money in these streets. Nah, nigga, I don't think that's happening.
College, right? NIL.
Yo, you saw the shorty, the big shorty who, and she transferred from, I think, Iowa State to Oklahoma State and made like $2 million. Like, they were like, she made more money staying in college than she would have going to the WNBA.
Absolutely. Same thing with what's homie from the Rookie of the Year from the Mavericks.
Oh, you talking about
Cooper Flag?
Yeah, Cooper Flag.
Yeah, he was a millionaire before he got to the Mavericks.
Right. The crazy thing, Spence, you know what I was about to say? Cooper Sharp cheese. I want a cheesesteak. Are you like Cooper Sharp? I'm like, Cooper Sharp? Cooper Flag, right. Cooper Flag. I want a cheesesteak. Yeah, so yeah, like when you can say you a millionaire before you even get to the league, it's like there is no rush to get to the league right now. You know what I mean? Especially if you already kind of know in your heart of hearts, because you could be a great player for this team and be the cash cow for them and know you ain't going to be no lottery pick either. You know what I mean? And you able to kind of make that decision. But, all right, Dope Show, Veg, where can they get at you, bro?
All right, y'all can follow me on social media, all platforms, at Vegas World INC. And you can check out my podcast, Hip Hop Now Podcast, right here on YouTube. All about news and perspectives and some album reviews. And speaking of Bahamadia, which most people who know me know, I am not a fan. And it ain't got nothing to do with bars. That was a dope voice. It's just a voice. I can't do
it be like that, man.
Yeah, it's like she right here just whispering the shit. I'm like, yo, stop rhyming. But this dude,
that nigga called Bahamadia a mosquito. Like, this nigga just be right here.
Nigga, if you talk about being outside, imagine being outside and everybody like, oh, yo, you just like, nah, who is this? Like, I like this. But I did a reaction video because this guy did like a video basically telling what happened to her, like, to your point.
Oh, word? Oh, okay. And, I need to see this.
Yeah, I thought, I linked the video and all of that, but I reacted to it because, as someone who's not like a super fan who's going to be like potentially biased, I wanted to know. So I just reacted to it, and it's kind of fucked up because it's just what happened at the time, which was essentially, Kim and Foxy were out and they like, that's cool, you can rap, but we need you to lose some clothing and she just didn't want to do it, so they just shelved her.
And I don't want her to lose any clothing. Please keep it on. I don't want it.
Come on, son.
I don't.
I don't know. There was one photo where I was like, man, why you take that jacket off?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to keep it on. I'm gonna ask to keep it on. So thank you. I'm glad that she didn't go that route. We just keep it on.
But it's kind of like a real fucked up story. Providing this guy has all the correct information, but I don't think he did. And it's almost as if like she can't do nothing. But like, you think Stove God's situation crazy? She can't even do what Stove God doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because she's still fucked up with this label.
Yep. Like in purgatory for the most part. So,
that's crazy.
I did that recently, and you can check it out. Check out my reaction and the video, which was some real good content. So, Hip Hop Now podcast on YouTube.
All right, no doubt. Spence, where can they get at you, bro?
88 Spence on Twitter and IG, and that was a good episode too, man. Real dope episode about Bahama D. I checked. Yeah, John was like,
and I reacted real time, y'all.
Yeah,
I ain't one of them niggas that be performing for the camera and shit. Kill know that shit is like, nigga, hold up, pause. What he say? Like, it's just a real reaction, and but again, I have a lot of respect for her as an artist to not compromise, based off of some label shit.
Yeah, I remember her from DJ Ran when she had Funk Vibe, John. And
Funk Vibe. Oh man,
that was my shit. Funk Vibe.
Oh man, yeah. Like that's the thing with Bahama Dia. She was like a Philly legend before she even came out with Collage and all that shit.
And that's during that time in Philly where we had a crazy independent movement. Like it was so like Task Force, Ruggedness, Mad Drama. Like it was so many lyrical
assassin 215
assassins. Yeah, we had like a crazy, and then a lot of them was supposed to get signed and just never really happened. Red Bull, like we had like a crazy Ram Squad. Like it was so many, man.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. 94 West, where can they get at you, good brother?
Yes, sir. You can find me on Twitter at 9, spell it out, NINE, at number 4, West. And on Instagram, you can find me _94West.
All right, no doubt. Now you make beats. You got a band camp. Where can people check out some beats if they want to cop anything? Where can they get it? Where can they hear some stuff?
Oh, most definitely. Come to my website, 94westmusic.com. Like I said, we got beats on there. I got a project I produced called Seconds Before Sunset with Kid Silver and Dolby Atmos, only on the site, man. So come holler at your boy.
All right, no doubt. Go out there and support it. You already know this with me. Twitter, IG is KIL889. Check it out. And again, I have an Emmy Award-winning documentary out right now called Kill End the Kids. Not killing the kids, but Kill End the Kids. We actually just won another award last night for it that I wasn't able to get out for, but we won. What did we win last night? We won the AU cinematographer like short doc award from American University. So we won, I think, 3 awards now and an Emmy. So really trying to push it, really trying to get it out there. So anybody out there, again, use your mind, really think about it. We're trying to get it screened. I really want to get with a lot of universities, screening it for classes in sociology that want to talk about working with kids from the inner city and things like that. I'm like Ron and Roe, Have Gun Will Travel. I will travel to promote the movie and the documentary. So definitely, if you know anybody, if you got a cousin that works at a university, connect the dots for us and, let's make it happen. It's a very short doc. It's 11 minutes. It's about my relationship with 2 of my kids. One of my kids was like a son to me who got murdered 7 years ago. Another one of my kids who got robbed at gunpoint last year, and kind of how we're helping him bounce back from that. And then again, shout out to Spence. He comes down once a month to volunteer with my kids. So again, we're always looking for volunteers. I tell people all the time, if you ever in DC, slide through. People be like, yo, Kill, really be in the hood like that? I'm in the hood every day. Come through any day. I'm there. So, and my kids need to see more black men. That's the thing. I get on the timeline. I need volunteers, and white folk come out. Love white folk to death. Love keep on coming, but I need some people who look like my kids. Because what happens is my kids will be like, "Oh, that's cool, but you white, so you could do that shit," type thing. You know what I mean? So again, I'm in no way. I'll send everybody come on out, but I really need black men to come out, because Spence will tell you, I got some wild middle school niggas. Let me explain something to y'all. I'm 52. You know who scares me more than anything? A nigga who's 13 and under. That's who I am the most scared of right now, because these middle school niggas don't give a fuck. Y'all watch The Wire? Y'all remember who killed Omar, right? That's true.
No,
that's exactly will be the person who is pulling the trigger out here in the DMV. Twin boys, 11-year-olds, going on a carjacking spree. 11-year-old twins. 11 is like 5th grade, nigga. So yeah, my middle school kids need help. So Spence, as always, salute to you for coming out. And it's to the point now, Spence don't even be with me. He be over in the whole nother part of the center with the kids, helping them cook and do other shit. I don't see Spence till the end of the night when the kids are going home. So again, if you're in the DMV, and even not, this man drive down once a month from Delaware. If you're in the mood, if God puts it on your heart to come out and invest in some of these kids, I got enough of them. I got 3 different teen centers in 3 different hoods, so we can make it happen. So appreciate y'all, and I will check y'all next week, good peoples.